everyone. Hello. Oh my god, I'm bleeding. Jesus. Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome to INIT Talks. Welcome to the 8th episode of INIT Talks. Sorry, I'm bleeding. So it was itchy right here, but then I scratched it. I scratched this a bit and then it's bleeding. Hi everyone! Hi! Welcome! Welcome to the 8th episode of INIT Talks with me, Elz, and we have a special guest joining us today. Hello, Keri! Oh my god, hi, Keri!
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh my god, of course, I'm super happy to have you here as the guest of INIT Talks because, again, guys, meet Keri. Keri is one of the member in INIT community and also she was racing in the Holiday Invitational and International Women's Day, right?
hmm
And also, she's a race engineer, just like you, Pap Simon. Oh my god, we have Sap right here. Jamie! Oh my god, Jamie, it's Jamie! It's
Hi,
Jamie!
Jamie.
Hi, Jamie! Oh my god, I'm so happy to have you here today, Jel! Oh my god, Jel! Hi! Welcome everyone, welcome to INIT Talks. It's our new guest for today. New girl, new episode, new girl. Oh my god, super super happy. Super happy. Hi, how you doing today, Keri?
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. The season is well underway and it has been so busy. And besides this weekend, my next weekend off is, let's see, the one after, so June 15th. That's my next weekend off after this. So I'm so
Oh my
excited to
god.
be just spending time here at home in my sim rig. Feels great. And to talk to you about what I'm up to.
Oh, nice, 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 guys. So today's episode is gonna be a little bit special. Not a little bit, but very special because normally we have sim racer, streamer, real race car driver joining. But now we are talking about something a bit different in motorsport and sim racing. We will talk more about the engineering side
Mhm.
in it. So super excited. And it was great to race with Kerry in the invitational. Yep, yep, yep. Oh my god. I saw the International Women's Day race, but I couldn't join because I was in the middle of moving to
Oh.
California. I was
Mm.
watching the stream a bit and it was great. So we were
Yeah.
doing awful right back then, right?
Well, it was a struggle. I'm not a NASCAR girl, so it was actually my first experience in NASCAR. And I was doing pretty all right. I was having fun kind of hanging and following with Yvonne. And I had a weird glitch in my first pit stop where the car wouldn't pull away. Like I was physically stuck in my pit stall.
Oh really? Huh.
Yeah.
I
So,
see.
and then after that, my whole race fell apart. But it was still really fun, and it was great
Mhm.
to connect with the other women, and it was
Yeah.
worth doing for sure. It was a stretch experience for me, and I
Mhm.
can't just always do the things that are like my little niche. It's good
Yeah.
to get out and
Get out
be
of your
humbled.
comfort zone once in a
Yeah,
while. How did you
see the
feel?
talent.
How did you feel racing in NASCAR doing oval?
Uh, I was really intimidated, especially because I don't have enough laps to really have the consistency to execute a good strategy. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really don't wreck the car, don't wreck anyone else,
Mm-hmm.
and just try to turn as many laps as I possibly can.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I think in that regard, I found a lot of confidence that I can totally drive this car.
Mm-hmm.
But I did struggle with tire wear a little bit towards the end
Oh,
and just stuff like that comes with experience and comes with the mastery over time.
true, true. Because I think in oval, the most important thing is saving up your tires. It's all
Mhm.
about tire saving in oval. Because yesterday I did 400 laps in oval for iRacing special event. It was the hardest 400 laps in my life. It was pretty tough, like really.
I
Especially
believe
when
it.
you have to battle with your car, battle with other drivers when you're like not having any tires. Like your front right tires are dead and you need to fight with people. It's the
hmm
real challenge. Like
yeah.
real challenge. And driving the cup car is not easy, guys. In oval, I'm not a fan of that. I honestly not a fan, and I don't know. Still trying to find my way to love driving the cup car in oval. Like really. Anyway, hello
it's okay
everyone.
it's okay to have preferences. We have things that we love to do, but we are not shying away from the difficult things. So
Yep, true. I completely agree with you on that. All right, Carrie. So we talk about oval. We talk about preference and stuff. So but none of, I don't think everybody here in the chat know about your backstory, like where did it all started and everything. So can you tell me a bit about the background, like what made you choose sim racing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I discovered real racing first. I did not come
Oh.
from a racing family. I didn't even have racing games growing up, but I've always had a need for speed. So I was that child that I loved to go to amusement parks, and I would just line up and go on ride after ride after ride after ride, and I just
Mm-hmm.
loved the sensation of G-forces, being at the top of the roller coaster and then getting sucked down. I always like
Oh.
being at the back of the coaster, so you get all of the whip as you pull, just
Yep.
absolutely love that feeling. I'd go on vacations with my friends who had jet skis, and I would just want to top the thing out and go as fast as I could. And so I've always had that. It's instinct. And I didn't know until this year, actually, that I come from a family of pilots. There's three pilots in my family. I didn't know that. My dad was a pilot. My grandfather on my mom's side was a pilot, and my aunt on my dad's side is a pilot. And so
Wow,
apparently
that's
it's
really
just,
cool.
yeah, it's
What?
instinct. So, um, but I didn't get exposed until I bought my first sports car. It was a Miata, and I was at work, and somebody saw my car in the parking lot,
Mm-hmm.
and had business anyways, but came in and said, "Hey, is that your car in the parking lot?" Because where I lived at the time, North Idaho, everybody drives trucks or
Oh,
Subarus or, because it
trucks, yeah.
snows. Um, but I always thought it was kind of fun to have a Miata, and I'd put, snow
Mm.
tires on it in the winter. And I lived
Uh-huh.
in a snow belt. We'd get 6, 9, 12 inches. Like we got as much as 4 feet of snow overnight.
Wow.
Um, and I thought it was fun, and apparently
Mm-hmm.
that's not normal.
That's not normal for some people. Yeah.
So anyway, so this person came in to my mark and invited me, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the important thing here. I was invited. I finally got the exposure, and I was invited.
Uh-huh.
And so of course I couldn't wait. I immediately I had to put a roll bar in my car, and because
Wow.
the organization wouldn't let me participate, but I was like, you know what, no problem. Like I'll do that. So
Mm-hmm.
my car was prepped, ready to go in less than 3 months, and I went and did my first event, and I was hooked. Like I had a boyfriend, but he didn't come with me. Like that wasn't a thing that we did
Yep.
together.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was hooked. Like after that, I didn't miss any events the next season at the autocross club. It was rallycross that I had first done. So basically like
Wow.
an autocross in the snow in
Mm-hmm.
a Miata. And
In
I
a
beat all
Miata.
of I was the only like rear-wheel drive little car there. There was a rear-wheel drive truck. That was the only rear-wheel drive vehicle there, and I
Mm-hmm.
beat all of the novices in my Miata. So a
Oh
couple
my
of the
god.
Subarus got stuck because it had snowed like 9 inches.
9 inches, that's a lot of snow. Yep.
And it was
Wow.
12 degrees outside, and I still had the top down. And I
Oh.
was just, I didn't even care. I was just living
Yeah.
my best life. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so it was a pretty immediate addiction and kind of snowballed from there. But, because of that feeling is
Mm-hmm.
what I was addicted to, the feeling of being in the car and experiencing the G forces. I'll be honest, and please don't come at me, everyone in the chat. I
Please.
was not did not take sim racing very seriously because my first impression was, it's very video game like, and all of
Uh-huh.
the hardware is just like toys. They're
Right, right, right.
controllers that look like a wheel pedal. But I didn't take it seriously. I had not been exposed to the potential of professional sim racing or, even
Mm-hmm.
mid-grade stuff. So it wasn't until I ran out of money a few years later
Mm-hmm.
to keep going, to keep progressing. And I went to a trusted friend, and I'm like, how do I bridge this gap? Because I don't want to wait until I have money. I don't want to age out. I want to do as much as I can right now. Like I'm
Now.
young now. I will never be this young again. And I
True.
don't want to stop just because of money. So thankfully that was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I saved up money, and I decided to buy hardware that was not like made me feel like it was simulation grade, made me feel like I was really driving. And at the time, that was Fanatic Club Sport
Mm-hmm.
hardware. So I had the inverted pedals
Right.
that had both hydraulic and hall sensor for the brakes. That was kind of interesting, which I've since
Nice.
gone away from, upgraded from,
Mm-hmm.
and belt drive wheelbase with just
Yep.
a standard round wheel. But it was enough that once I got started, I could, it sounds weird, but I can feel,
Mm-hmm.
my brain like pretends we're driving a car and I can feel it rotate and
Right.
so I was able to kind of sink into the zone and
Mm-hmm.
accept it as real. And that happened right before COVID. So I was really lucky because when the whole world shut down,
You have
like real
something.
racing, and it was
Yeah.
so depressing. I was able to just dive in and it really got me hooked. So I would say COVID is really what sold me, not
Mm-hmm.
just on the value of sim racing as a tool,
Mm-hmm.
but the value of sim racing as its own standalone thing. It's outside of motorsport. It's its own pursuit and
Yep.
communities and you know.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm that pandemic baby also. I got into sim racing during the pandemic time because, yeah,
Hmm.
the world is shut down. I got
Hmm.
nothing to do. So I
Yeah.
just stay at home. I play video games. Like, I think I was playing Gran Turismo back then, but I was still using a controller. I got no idea that a steering wheel and pedal exists in this world. Okay, I was so dumb back then. I'm sorry, dumb. I was so dumb. Like I googled like okay steering wheel, and then I found something on Amazon. I bought my first Thrustmaster wheel and tried to driving it, and I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh, you can
Yeah.
have the online ranking also. Okay, let's do this. And I got hooked up until now. I'm stuck for the next 10, 20 years, I think, in sim
But
racing.
even with a controller, you still learn racing lines and
Exactly.
closing rate and how to share the track with other vehicles. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you still learn. I mean, I even though I started out thinking this way, I do not think about it this way at all now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sim racing and racing games are absolutely the most accessible way to spark people's passion. Invite them in. People have to feel invited, right?
Yeah.
So many of my friends are like, "Hey, we like to play Forza or Gran Turismo on the weekend. Come play with us." And
Mm-hmm.
so that
Yeah.
that element is what helps build the ladder so that there's competition in the future. It takes time to get
Exactly.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even if
True.
a controller is all someone had, I do not write them off as having potential in the future. I mean,
Yeah, true.
it's a
Like honestly, for me, racing game is a great way for people to start getting into racing and motorsport
mhm,
because yeah, as you said, like you can learn the racing line, you can learn how to battle with other people, like starting from the controller. And in fact, I
mhm.
have one friend in my community. He got like almost 3K I rating and he plays with controller in IRC. Like,
That's
okay,
amazing. That's hard. I
that's
mean,
hard.
it's hard not to crash some of these cars with great hardware.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I mean, with steering wheel, like if you have the force feedback, you have those load cell pedal, hydraulic pedal, you can feel how much you need to
Hmm.
brake, and you can feel the details, the road details through your wheel. But then I try to drive with a controller. I don't feel anything. So it's hard to actually like getting good as a controller player. Like I put so much respect on every
Hmm.
controller player out there. Oh my god, Nina! Nina is here! Nina!
Hi, Nina.
Hi! Oh my god, Nina, the back to back champion and
I was
also
about to
the
say,
dream team. I know,
speaking
right?
of Women's Day, she dominated.
Yes, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like he was, cause I watched the stream when I was like doing a road trip. So I sit in the passenger seat and I was like, okay, what do we have on Twitch? Oh, screen to speed. Oh yeah, and I saw that Nina were. I think she was like running 6, 7 all the time, and then at the final restart, something like that, she was. I think Nina. I think you were like staying outside, not going to the pit, probably, if I remember correctly. Like you stay out in the final restart and then you grab the win. Like wow, wow, that's. We will talk more about
Strategy.
strategy. Exactly, strategy. Because oval is all about strategy, and I believe in every kind of racing, strategy really holds the main key to get a
Hmm.
good result, right?
And I feel like it's a metaphor because I remember Nina talking about that win later and all the way leading up to kind of that final part of the race,
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting the confirmation that your strategy is working
Yeah.
until it works at the end. And I
Until
mean,
it
isn't that
works.
true for the rest of, I mean, just developing as a driver and whether or not your experience starting out on a controller is
Mm-hmm.
going to lead you to somewhere great,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't until she stuck to her strategy, played it smart, didn't
Yep.
push, didn't let the pressure of everyone else in front of her
Mm-hmm.
stray from her strategy. She stuck to
Right.
it and that is a skill and not everybody has that.
Yep, true. Because at least for me, I did. I did sim racing. Like most of the time, I race in the simulator than I'm racing in real life. To be honest with you, I never tried racing in real life other than doing some casual karting. And for me as a driver, when I'm racing, I want to focus on the race. I want to keep my eyes on the road and focus on that. So thinking about strategy and driving at the same time can be a real challenge, at least for me,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, that's a valid thing, right? But that's where experience comes in because at some point with enough practice, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of load on your brain that actually driving the car takes is very minimal, you know?
Oh,
And so it
well,
frees
true.
up all of that mental bandwidth to observe quickly what other people are doing, to analyze what's happening, and to think through strategy and think one or two laps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it
Right.
that's that is a clear sign of an experienced driver. I mean, there's skills there that maybe their lap time
Yeah.
does or does not reflect. You know, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the diversity piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of diversity in motorsports because there's a lot of ways to get fast and being smart about it, especially like in my shoes where I don't have an infinite amount of money. And so I can't just go and roast tires always seeking the
Yeah.
fast lap. That
Yeah.
is not reasonable or realistic for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that, even though I'm not limited by that in the sim, I found that that pattern is true for me in the sim as well, that I tend to be conservative and work my way up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, of course, I'm like, ooh, tell me what you did with your strategy because I want to learn, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because speaking about strategy, like how do you set up the strategy for what race? For example, we are going to have a Miata race in iRacing. Let's start from that. So you jump into the race, and how do you think about the strategy throughout the race? What do you need to prepare at first? Okay, this sounds
So
like a dumb question, but
it's not a dumb question.
all
That's
right.
honestly the difference between being good and being great, isn't it?
Yeah, well, true. I
So,
guess.
so for me, and I mean, every driver is different, and I guess coming up with that process is part of how we learn, right? But for me, I have to have enough practice laps, and usually the balance point for me is about 3 to 5 hours of intentional practice, broken down into at least a few sessions of driving. And then immediately after driving, coming off of the track and then studying my data afterwards, and there's a lot of ways to get data on the sim. One of the reasons I love iRacing is there are so many powerful tools and they're automatic. So like virtual racing school, VRS,
Yeah.
Garage 61, Trophy AI. I mean, there's tons of tools, and you can also use the built-in iRacing logger if you hit, I think the default hotkey is Alt L, and you can change that. And there's also tools that will automate that part, and then you can take that log and convert it to a MoTeX file and start
Right.
analyzing it in MoTeX. So for me, I'm able to do that. And then it allows me to start analyzing math channels. So like tire strategy, one of the most effective tools is to look at tire slip data and steering wheel efficiency. How much of your steering are you doing with the steering wheel versus how much of it are you doing with car balance? And how much are you skidding the tires versus allowing them to slip? So you don't want skidding because that's excess tire wear and time lost, right?
Right.
But you want to be able to carry all of the slip and really plant all of the grip and use all of the tire without shredding it like a cheese grater on the asphalt. So
Right.
getting enough practice laps in that you can study, get enough practice laps in that you can figure out where you can save on fuel to try to stay out of the pits, you know, and that's true universally. I mean, any kind of racing, I think that there's the higher you go, somebody's analyzing fuel consumption to make sure that you have just enough. You don't want to run out,
Yeah.
but
Yes,
you
it
also
is.
don't want to have a bunch extra.
Right.
So
It's.
so I would say practice and then studying, intentional practice and intentional analysis so that you know how much fuel am I using? And then you can use tools like Garage 61. You can look at other people's laps and see how much fuel they're using. I spy on people all the time because they leave it public. So it's
Oh,
there. So I'm
interesting.
like, okay, am I using more or less than other people? So have I found that's not always realistic, but then you get like in real life, you get people with binoculars watching other people, other teams
Yeah.
add, they're looking at how many gallons are in the cans and they're okay, so they've added this much fuel, you know what I mean? So
Right, right.
that
Wow.
happens too, you know?
Uh-huh. Huh. Stalking people in Garage 61 can actually improve your driving. I
Yeah,
never stalk people on Garrett 61. Like,
it's not
honestly,
stalking. I mean,
yeah, it's
they
like
tell you
looking
that
at
that
the
it's
data,
public.
right? Why
Yeah,
do
I
I
mean,
call it stalking, you guys? Like, hey,
I am
Dora!
definitely a creeper. If you leave your data where I can find it publicly, I'm likely to look at it if I
I will
have an
find you.
interest.
Yep, I
Yes.
will find your data.
I there's reports in Discord. There's like an iRacing bot that you can go and look at people's driver profiles. You can
Mm-hmm.
look at their average incidents per corner. So I try to be at least 120 corners per incident,
Mm-hmm.
or higher. So, but there's plenty of people who are like only 40, 60 corners per incident. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's a strategy, right?
Right. Wow. As again, like I'm telling you, and I'm telling everyone, like I would like to drive. I got into sim racing because I like driving, but I
Hmm.
never look into my data. Like I never look into my data that real deep, like going into the motec and everything. Like I'm just
Hmm.
driving, trying to go fast. That's it.
Hmm.
And I I give this responsibility to my spotter or my engineer, like help me out in this because I just want
Hmm.
to drive.
Hmm.
So it got me thinking that you as a driver or we as a driver, do we actually need to do it, or it's like a job, not like a job, but it's like something that if you have an engineer, they will help you on that. Like,
Yeah. So the big thing is that we have to, so our instincts, our perception can lie to us. What we think is fast or what we think feels fast may not actually be the optimal, right? And
mm,
so I utilize the data to help me learn what I don't know and would not have learned had I just continued to practice in a silo on my own. And I find that that's actually one of the greatest benefits of working with a team where
mm-hmm,
there's other drivers, especially running nearly identical cars,
mm-hmm,
where you can do A/B comparisons and things like that, and really
right,
dive down to what's driving the difference in the time. Is it the car or is it the driver?
mm,
And I have some strategies for finding that out, you know.
mm,
Um, and
right,
is the difference between these lap times because of track conditions? Did we just practice in different conditions,
mm-hmm,
or did they do something that created an advantage? And so,
right,
um, in order to answer those questions, it could take a lifetime of just driving and watching people on track to learn all there is to know. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? So
yeah,
I feel like, sim racing helped me accelerate my experience as a driver behind the wheel, but it also helped me accelerate how much data that I had access to help challenge and expand my understanding of how do tires work. Like,
mm,
you can think you know how tires work and then
right,
have somebody completely blow your mind.
right,
Um, and so I feel like that's a useful tool of, especially if you're not going to college to be a race car driver,
yeah. I don't have a racing
you know?
background. Yep, I learned everything from
Yeah.
the sim. I
Yeah,
improve from the sim.
but it's just another tool that's available. I certainly don't think it's required. I think that there's plenty of people who have very sharp instincts and sharp perception,
Mm-hmm,
and through enough experience, they can just trial and error things, and figure out what works. I certainly don't think it's required,
mm-hmm, right,
but I think it's an advantage. Whether you're performing the analysis or you have a spotter or a team engineer
mm-hmm,
who's just taking that quick look, right, and they bring you
a
the
fast
gold
car.
nuggets out of it. Like I like this is the last race that I did at Pacific Raceways in Kent, Washington, a couple weekends ago, and there's one corner in specifically that AIM has a tool that correlates distance and
Mm-hmm,
time. So if you cut distance, does it add time or remove time, basically? And what
mm,
I found, there was one driver who had found an ideal line, and it's not what you would think. By looking at the corner when you walk the track, it's
mm-hmm,
a downhill, open, long, sweeping carousel. And
okay,
so it looks like if you stay wide and just try to carry as much speed as possible,
mm-hmm,
that you're going to come out of it real fast. But what this driver found was that he was all the way to the outside on the entry
mm-hmm,
and a very late turn in, and then got all the way down on a late apex, like very late apex, and got
mm,
all the way down. He was able to get committed wide open throttle um,
wow,
quite a bit sooner, and he was carrying like 5 or 6 more miles an hour more out of the exit than any
wow,
other driver on the team. And their cars are spec cars; they're nearly identical. They're running, you know what I mean.
yeah,
The ECUs lock the engine power
Mm-hmm.
output, so they're not even one car doesn't really have more power than the others.
Yep.
Um, it really was the difference was the driver was willing to experiment until he found something that worked that other people were not doing. And it
Mm.
also served as kind of a defensive line on exit. So as long as they didn't pile drive, like get underneath him on the corner entry,
Mm-hmm.
it would almost seem like he was defying physics and driving away. So you know what I mean?
Yep, yep.
But then I was able to take that information and say, okay, well, now this is a team secret, and we're going to use that to pull the other drivers up
Yeah.
and help make them faster. And then, lo and behold, the team swept the top five and had many of the top 10 spots of that race.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that way, I think that a lot of drivers, had they not been told that, and that's just
Right.
one piece of information, and it's whole like 5 or 6 tenths, several miles an hour. I mean, how much money do people spend to find that kind of time by making their car faster? What if you could just get one piece of information from an engineer who knows what they're looking for?
Hmm.
What's that
Right.
worth?
Right. Right.
So,
Huh. Right. By the way, hello Jacob. Jacob here saying that a lot of people make the mistakes on overdriving the car. Overdriving the car. Because
mhm.
sometimes you need to drive to the limit, like you're
Yeah.
pushing, but it turns out sometimes you're overdriving it. But I think you need to do it sometimes to find the limit of yourself
Well,
and your car.
and I think that overdriving is subjective. I think overdriving, I mean, there's clear signs of overdriving in terms of tire wear and, time lost when making a mistake comparing
Mm-hmm.
to a different driver, yada, yada. But I think that as a whole, you have to be able and willing to ask the car to dance along the limit. And if you make any mistake, it means you're overdriving, right? By
Right.
nature. So, and nobody is driving perfect laps. So I think you're right. You're onto it that, in order to push, you have to, some amount of overdriving is required.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you think of the limit as like an absolute thing, which it's not an absolute thing, but let's just pretend that we can normalize it as an absolute thing, as a
Right.
baseline. And
Mm-hmm.
it's this line here, right? And as drivers, we're trying to like converge on this limit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the closer we get, we're gonna kind of go over and under and over and under and over and under.
Ah.
And then, there's kind of common terms like top down drivers, which are
Mm-hmm.
drivers who come in and they overshoot the limit,
Right.
and they're more like
Up
dipping
and
under
down.
the limit, but
Mm-hmm.
they're coming at it from the top. And then drivers like me, where I'm really conservative, um, part of my appeal to racing is it's like exposure therapy to fear.
Uh-huh.
The more you encounter dangerous situations and you go, oh, I totally have this. Like a few weeks ago, I was over at the Ridge, which is in Shelton, Washington, and it
Mm-hmm.
was raining, and I got a chance to drive an FR 500S Mustang on slicks in the rain, and it never
Wow.
stopped raining. And
Wow.
and I don't have the money to just replace this car. It was a very kind gesture to thank me for some help that I had given somebody, and
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so of
True.
course it's like I want to enjoy the car and I don't want to be embarrassed because I'm driving the car like a weenie, but I also want to be respectful of the fact that this is just a fun experience. This is not a race, it's a track day, and it's
Mm-hmm.
raining.
And
And a
it's
car
right.
had gotten totaled that morning. A car with
What?
less power than the car I was driving.
Wow.
So there's so in those scenarios, experiencing something really scary, and then I only got 6 laps in the car, but I got a point by a BMW M2 before my laps were over. And so it was that validation of feedback of I am not scared of rain. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's that survival factor, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we can experience new things and we can overcome the danger, and that experience adds up to being able to drive closer to the limit quickly, because truly, once everybody is like within 1% of the hypothetical limit,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just min-maxing, right? Like how
Right.
quick, like sometimes the difference between winning a sprint race and not winning a sprint race isn't
Mm-hmm.
your lap time, it's how quickly you can get to doing that lap time over and over and over. Some drivers need 2 or 3 laps to get
Right.
there. Other
Uh-huh.
drivers, they'll warm
Mm.
their tires up right. They know just how to do it. They know just how to use every bit of grip on a cold tire until the tire's warm
Mm-hmm.
without overheating the surface of the tire, right? So
Right.
they're getting absolutely as much as they can. And that's where I say overdriving really hurts people is they're superheating the surface of their tire and they're not allowing themselves to get the most out of it. And that I think so now, as an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to go out and just drive and be able to get right to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still in that phase of observing my, I come off of the track and I need someone to measure my tire temperatures right away, right off the track to
Mm-hmm.
try to, and then, sample all the tire pressures and tell me how well am I using my tires? Am I pushing too hard or am I, and in my case, my tires tend to be a little cold. Like I am
Ah,
not using all of that's available, right? But
right.
but it also means I live to race another day, right? So I'm learning how to approach that limit without, because I can't afford to just buy extra tires because I shredded them or buy extra brakes because I'm using them too
Exactly.
much, you know?
Exactly.
So
Like
anyhow,
real driving can be expensive. Like even from the
mhm,
starting level, it's already expensive. Even if you're doing karting, when you start doing karting, it starts to get expensive.
mhm.
So
Well, and in karting, your only way really to adjust spring rate, besides sometimes you have like a sway bar and you can adjust track width, is your tire pressure. So
yeah.
you're adjusting your cart balance and how it handles in tenths of at only 12 psi.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a specialty gauge. You can't even just use a normal tire gauge. You have to get one just for go-kart tires.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Right,
know.
right. Wow. So by the way, guys, today I'm learning a lot from Keri. Like really, because it's very technical and it's like something that I never thought that I need to take care of it before. You know what I mean? Like I'm just driving. I'm like a true driver. Like I'm just driving. But now,
Yeah.
since we are talking about the more technical part, it really got me thinking about cold tires and everything. Because in sim racing, a lot of crash that happen in the first lap, mostly because people spun, because the tires still cold, they're not ready, they don't know how to handle it. So for me, I feel like it's really important to understand your car when the tires are cold, when you over driving the car, or even like driving with a broken car. Sometimes I did that
Mhm.
in practice. Like I crashed, let the steering wheel broken, and keep driving just to see how to handle this car when it's broken. So
Mhm.
I feel like sim racing or simulator can give you unlimited time to practice, so you
Yes.
can bring that to real life.
And
Cause
there's no shame. That's the thing in real life. Like if I was, for example, that Mustang, if I damaged that car, um, it would cause real psychological harm to me and my performance because it creates this permanent association of I broke something,
huh,
right?
right.
In order to really get to the next level, I have to be able to disassociate those outcomes, which is did I perform well or did I not perform well, with who I am. That is just one blip in time of who I was that day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but I don't think that just because people haven't discovered kind of this extra layer of what there is to know doesn't mean people aren't taking it seriously. I think ultimately getting out and driving is more important than anything else, right? Because
Right.
it all boils down to experience. If you're not getting out there and putting in the laps, what are you going to analyze about yourself to improve yourself, right?
True.
The practice comes first. And then
Practice
the
comes first.
curiosity, and that's really for me, like engineering is a pursuit of curiosity. I'm not doing it out of a sense of obligation because if I don't do it, I'm stupid or I'm lazy or whatever, or I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
doing it because I'm genuinely curious. I want to know. Like I learned it as a hobby first before people started asking me for help, and that's it kind of segued into a progression that way. um, but I think that many things you can explain to somebody with words, like as an engineering type person, right? I could try to explain something to somebody, but if they've never felt it, or they don't have an understanding of it, I can tell them something and they may not actually like it may not
Think about it.
click. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I ultimately I think just having the drive to get out and drive, like that's for some people that's enough. But then when they're like, okay, I am trying very hard and like I've practiced a lot, right? And I still feel like I have a little bit left to give and I don't know how or where. And that's really where I
The
think this
end.
is a powerful tool because how much more would you have to practice even on the simulator? I mean, who has the ability to infinitely practice for races? We don't. At some point, we have to become more efficient and intentional with our
Right.
improvement.
Right. Here, Pepsi Man, Sub said that I can relate so much with what Kerry is saying. So, Sub, he's the F1 esports engineer. We have the F1 esports engineer here. So, he's like the engineer. Oh my god. And I
Ah,
remember, hi, by the way, meet my friend, Kerry. Oh wait, I think it's here. She's here. Okay, she's right here. Meet Keri, by the way. She's a race engineer, IRL engineer, and also sim racer. I'm learning something today from Keri, basically, Sab. Peps, and I'm learning something from her because I keep on saying to Seb, like, you know what? I just want to drive. I know I need to think about strategy at some point, but
mhm.
I just love the drive. That's all. Help me out.
That is all you need. Somebody will bring the resources to your table because they'll see your potential. The fact that you want to drive.
Hmm.
You can't teach that. You want to drive. That comes first. The
Hmm.
curiosity comes with it, you know?
Right, right, right. Huh. That's a good point. Now I remember I have a friend, a good friend of mine. He's a race engineer for a NASCAR team, the Xfinity team, and I asked him one question like, what is this driver doing like other than driving in a team? And he said like, you're just driving. And
You're a performer.
yeah, exactly, like you're the front line, like you're driving, do your best on the track, finish the race, that's all. Don't I mean Fun fact, it's not like every drivers know about car setup, engineering stuff. Most people driving focus on driving and let the team behind like deliver a fast car, make the adjustment. So it's your job as a driver to complain until the race day to your engineer, like make a fast car, this car feels
Yeah.
this car is too understeer, something like that. It's your job to file a protest, as in like tell the engineer what how do you feel about the car. So it got me realize that okay, I need to know something technical about car, but I don't need to know everything, but I need to learn about cars and stuff, like how does the car work, how does the car feel, to be able
Mhm.
to communicate what I want to my engineer. I'm still learning on that, like trying to communicate like okay, this car is like this car is that. Sometimes like sometimes you have it in mind like okay, this car feels this like that,
Mhm.
but you don't know how to communicate.
Yeah. Okay, so can I give you a couple of tidbits?
Yes, please.
Just quick. Okay. So first of all, I'd love for you to look up the driver Johann Swartz,
Mm-hmm.
Schwarz.
Mm-hmm.
Johann Swartz. So Johann, I think that past a certain point, the car setup doesn't matter. Past a certain point, the driver is going to drive the car. And someone like Johan,
Mm-hmm.
one of the number one feedback pieces of feedback that his team gave him was, "We're not getting any useful feedback from you. We need to know how to set up the car." And Johan just fires back with, "Make sure the car is ready to go. Make sure it's got fuel and all the nut and bolts are checked and that it's ready for a race. Other than that, if it's a car, I'm gonna win with it." You know what I mean? Like that's the
Huh.
attitude.
Uh-huh.
But I think and I think that in his case, his team would prefer probably that he's a little more collaborative. However, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's its own standard of excellence. So I definitely don't want to say drivers who aren't giving that feedback just aren't doing enough or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that when I hear you talk about like your desire to drive, I
Mm-hmm.
think about Johann's drive, and I don't let anyone water that down for you. Like it's good to give feedback. Okay, so then this moves me on to the next piece of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the easiest place to start is, am I experiencing, and we don't want to label, is the car doing it or am I doing it, because a lot of times it's the driver, not the car. But this is how a team can maybe bring the car to you, kind of thing, make it tailored more to your preference.
Mm-hmm.
Is it understeering or oversteering? And are you experiencing it in corner entry, mid corner, corner exit? And is it a high speed or a low speed corner? With that
Huh.
feedback, your team could do all kinds of things to help bring, but only make one change at a time. If you're working with a team, they'll know this. But if you're at home banging your head against a wall, trying to figure out, can I make this setup work better for me? One change at a time. I'm serious. I know it's really tempting to go in and say, okay, I want to loosen the car up on corner entry. I'm going to change this and this and this and this, hit save, see if it's better. But you don't know what change added up to what feel, you know what I mean? So
Mm, right.
if you're really in the
Right.
process of learning, take the time and do at least like 5-10 laps per change. You know what I mean? Because then you're
Huh.
going to go collect your data and you're going to have average cornering speeds, entry speed, exit speed. When did you get on the throttle? And you can really start comparing. Did this change allow me to commit to my braking zone? Because it's all about the three inputs, right? The driver has a few ways to control the car. They have a steering wheel, they have a throttle, they have a brake.
Right.
How did the change in the car change how the driver uses the car?
Hmm.
And you can have a whole team of people analyzing all of that if you can at least just tell them, I feel like it's too loose or it's too tight, like I want to turn it and it just doesn't want to turn, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'm trying to get back onto the throttle, but it's just making the car make me feel like I'm running off of the track and then I have to lift off of the throttle
Mm.
after the apex, which costs tons of time, right?
Right.
So that's probably the easiest way to get started, being collaborative with a team where
Mm-hmm.
they're asking you for feedback. They can come to you with ideas of how to create the change, what to do with the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just tell them, where is
Hmm.
it understeering or oversteering? Where in the corner and how fast is it? And how does that feel?
Hmm.
And
I
yeah.
see. Yeah, so Pepsi Man also said that high speed, low speed, understeer, oversteer, corner entry, exit are the three most crucial piece of
Hmm.
information we need.
Yeah,
Huh. So you don't have
because
to be that technical, as in like you can communicate, oh, it's to oversteer at the entry. That's
what
enough.
matters is that you're self-aware of how you feel. And it starts with, I want to drive the car, right? Because if you are just driving out of obligation or because it's cool, you're not going to have
Mm-hmm.
that drive to be self-aware of what's happening, right? You're just going to be driving.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Huh.
it's enough. That's enough feedback. If you can just try to explain, and I know it's hard sometimes when you get out of the car.
Yeah.
I really drive with my like subconscious a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't always remember. I have to like really sit and think about it
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right.
because I don't know. I'm just driving, like,
I'm just
you know.
driving, yeah. I'm just driving, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I think when I'm driving, when I'm sim racing, all I think is just make this car turn, don't break the car, that's it. Like, that's what I keep in mind. Like, make the car turn, when there's a corner, that's it. That's enough.
Yep.
Make the car turn.
But
Transmission
it's a tall.
motorsport.
You could spend so much time trying to make that happen, and it can turn in all kinds of ways. It can turn on the brake, it can
Mm-hmm.
turn violently on the throttle, it can turn while coasting because the
Yeah.
differential may be doing something different when it's on throttle versus off throttle.
Mm-hmm.
So some cars, like, you lift off of the throttle and the car is like, pew,
Yep, 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 right.
and it turns maybe in all the ways you don't want it to. And
Uh-huh.
so you got to be careful saying, give me a car that turns, because
Oh, yeah, right,
you might
right.
not get what it was that you
Be
wanted.
careful what you wish for. Yep. I want a car that
Yeah.
turn. Oh wait, by the way, we have transmission motorsport here. We need you for advice in your own Discord channel. Hi, by the way, transmission and Sap and everyone, welcome. We are having our special guest today joining us, Keri Anderson. Keri is a sim racer and also a race engineer. I'm super happy because I have I have a lot of friends who work as an engineer, but it's not like a girl, it's more like boys doing this engineer,
Mhm.
being nerding about stuff. And
Yeah.
I adore you so much. Like I can tell that you really love the adrenaline. You love the adrenaline, you love going fast, you love the challenge, and also
Mhm.
you like to learn more about it. Like you like to, yeah, analyze. I think that's the
Mhm.
most important thing. Not like the most important thing, but one of the most important thing in driving. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're driving, but you have to analyze sometimes.
I could tell you I'm hungry to go faster, but I'd rather just show you. But I also would like to hold the hand out and help people up along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest things for me is not making my career just about me. I have a really hard time imagining a career where my entire time is spent campaigning, looking for sponsorship dollars because it's all about me, and then promoting myself because it's all about me, and then my driving and it's all about me. I really like to have that people focused. I genuinely care about the cars and the
Mm-hmm.
drivers and their discipline and their racecraft. And to me, engineering is a way to give back. It's a way to inspire people, to empower people, to encourage people, and to give them something that's more than just my opinion. I mean, analysis is a bunch of opinions, right? An interpretation.
Right.
And there's lots of different ways to achieve similar goals, but I'm really like turned on by the idea of what allows a driver to sink into that flow state, that state
Right.
where they're truly performing at their best.
Mm-hmm.
And even people who lack some self-confidence in what they're capable of can surprise themselves if they have the right environment and the right support. And there's lots of different ways to achieve that. But like going to a racing school is a great way to
Mm-hmm.
do it, you know, or renting from a team who specializes in coaching drivers. There's some teams who even specialize in coaching sim racing drivers to help them bridge that gap from sim racing to real racing. And they help with like the mindset aspect. Like, what do you do when your driver is about to get in the car and they're shaking and they're scared and they're like, how do you deal with this? You know,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not every engineer would have an answer for that,
Mm.
but I do have an answer for that because I'm really passionate about that. And I feel like data is one side of it. You can be data informed, data driven, right? But also um, all the way to the tippy top of racing, the driver is such a huge part of the equation. You have to understand them, what motivates them, what derails them, what
Mm-hmm.
keeps them from their success. Because you can have a successful driver have a bad day because they're just not there, you know.
Right.
So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like engineering's kind of a fun mix of what I did for a career.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of as an adult, like I had gone down my plan B. Like I went to college for business. I should have gone for engineering, but I didn't know what I didn't know until I discovered it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I did learn how to work with people, interview people, and to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what their problem is. Even if they don't know what their problem is, I can interview them and say, okay, what
Right.
I think that they're struggling with is this. So what I think I want to bring them, the most that what can I do? Because you
Mm-hmm.
can't fix everything in one day, right? So you have
True.
to kind of pick a priority. Well, if I could give this driver one thing, what would be the biggest impact? And I think that impact piece, I love engineering because I have the opportunity to create a massive impact and for
Right.
other people
Right.
besides just
Right.
feeding them. And I can give something to them and say, okay, now I've helped you up and now I want to compete with you so you can help inspire me. It's a little selfish, but you
No,
know.
it's not selfish. It's like, I mean, we help each other here in the community, and that's the most important thing. Like, a lot of people drive, a lot of people want to be the fastest driver, but
Mhm.
on the other hand, we need engineer, we need spotter, we need, even in real life, we need a pit crew to build a successful team. Like, if everybody wants to be a driver, who's going to analyze the data, right? Who's going
Mhm.
to be the engineer if everybody wants to drive, if everybody wants to be a race car driver? So,
That's true.
like, at first, when I first started getting into sim racing, so a little background about me, I started from playing a MOBA games. So it's like a
Okay.
strategy games, team kind of thing. And I feel like I don't want to gamble my win because my teammate
Mhm.
doesn't perform. So I will jump into sim racing. I can do this by myself because it's
Mhm.
a solo driving. And then the more I get into sim racing, the more I realize you cannot do everything by yourself. At some point, you need people, you need your team to build your success. Like yesterday,
And
I had 400 laps, the Coke 600, and I don't think I will survive the race if I don't have my spotter with me.
yeah.
In
But
the
you need to be confident that your spotter cares about you and your success. They see you, they see your strengths, they see your opportunities, not because they want to pick you apart for them, but
mm-hmm,
because they want you to succeed, right?
mm-hmm,
If you like in real life, having mechanics work on your car is you're vulnerable to them. If they make a mistake, it costs you, could cost you everything, could cost you your life, you
true.
know? And so I think that, yeah, I mean, that's a valid thing. And that's kind of, as a driver too, when you aspire to excellence,
Mm-hmm.
right? We also aspire to having teammates who are excellent. And I guess that's, that's I don't have a degree in engineering, but I feel like that's what I've learned so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing stuff like that from you too, and imagining myself um, how hard it is to put some of your own outcome of your race into someone else's hands.
Yeah, yeah. You know how
Yeah.
it feels. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
cause
it's a big hurdle, and
it
having good
is
teammates keeps people out of races, or not having good teammates. You know what I
right.
mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, for me, if I want to have someone as my engineer, as my spotter, one thing that I need to achieve is trust. I need to trust my spotter.
Mhm.
At first, okay, if I have a new spotter, I'm not gonna, not that I'm not gonna listen to him or her, but it's more like I cannot trust you yet. So like you need to build like those kind of connection between the driver and the engineer. Like you have
Yeah.
to merge. I must say, like you have to become one person, like together, like both of you,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
equally
So
connected. You know.
I had an experience. I've never really had like a race spotter. I've only ever driven solo, but I got to go to Dirtfish last year and do the 3-day STI program, which was, oh my gosh, was it incredible. But again, I'm someone who works through fear, right? So day one, I'm a little intimidated. Day two, we start doing pendulum turns, and I'm like, oh, I've so got this. And by day three, um, my instructor, Michelle Miller, she's also a professional co-driver in stage rally. She does this as a career. And one of
Wow.
her strengths, I remember getting out of the car at the end of the day and being like, it felt like you had just plugged into my brain and I could no longer hear what you were saying. There were no words. Like all processing of what she was saying was all subconscious, and the subconscious brain is so much more powerful than the conscious brain. I mean, infinitely more powerful. So that trust thing is huge because in order to get sink into that flow state, I had to surrender myself to what
Yep.
I was being told. So it's input output with no process. I was no longer the only person driving that car. There were two people driving that car, and it was an incredible experience. I have not experienced it again yet, and I want to. Like that to me, that's a huge appeal of stage rally. Is like it's kind of not to say this in a weird way, but it's like a very intimate thing. It's I think a very rare thing to have that kind of a connection with somebody and to truly trust that they're telling you full throttle, grab for fourth gear, and I can't even see where we're turning next, and I'm grabbing full throttle, grabbing for
Yep.
fourth gear, and I'm just trusting, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I think that that's kind of the beautiful part of working with teams because if we didn't allow ourselves to let other people in, and if we only ever made racing about ourselves and what we do,
Yeah.
we would be missing that net, like what's
True.
left,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yep. Yep. I think yesterday or basically my last race, I have someone spotting me and be my engineer. So my focus is mostly just driving, keep the car on the track, finish the race,
Mhm.
and I realized I reached the point where I don't need to think, as in like eyes on the road, step on the throttle, hold the brakes if you see the crash, and I just listen to my spotter like, okay, go left, go high, he's still behind. And I'm not even thinking, like I feel like okay, I'm connected to my spotter now. Like
So you're
I
no longer looking in your mirrors and your
no.
spotter's allowing you to look ahead because you trust them.
Yep.
You've surrendered.
Yep. I feel like okay, we have someone telling me to do, but and then like my muscle memory and everything just hit it, like hit the brake, okay, go left, okay, go right, okay, going high, okay, just like that, like,
Mhm.
that's the level of trust that I need when I have someone as my spotter. Like, yep, I really need that. And transmission, you're right, like there's so much I'm not good at. I have no issues trusting teammates. I trust people's knowledge. Right, right, right. Talking about the subconscious. Now you start sounding a lot like Brandon. That's a compliment. Yeah, Brandon is two-time F1 esports champion. Yep, yep, yep. Everybody knows Brandon at this point, right? Yeah, so okay, then it got me thinking like we are talking about real racing, we are talking a bit about sim racing. Now let's go back a bit to sim racing. So, we saw you racing in the Screen to Speed Invitational, both the holidays and the International Women's Day, right? So, is there any car that you like in iRacing, in sim racing?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I like pretty much all of them, let's be honest. The sports cars.
Hmm.
I I think that my most fun carefree driving happens in a GR86. I really like how compared to all the other cars that I drive, its limit is fairly low. So like when I hop into a GT3 car, it's not uncommon for me to be looking for the last 2% of pace. Whereas when I get into a GR86, that gap is cut in half because the car requires so much less of my bandwidth to drive it, that I just it's like it drives in slow motion, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. It's
Right.
and so
Huh.
I feel like I truly that's where I get really excited in a good way because I'm more competitive and I'm able to kind of outsmart people and I
Mm-hmm.
can study them and and I just feel like everything is not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like doing the 12 hours of Bathurst, it's just trying to survive. Or like driving
Uh-huh.
a GTP car. I really like driving high downforce cars.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't
Downforce gang.
iRacing. This
Yeah.
wasn't iRacing, but speaking of F1, I participated in Rock the Rig last year, which was really cool. And I just barely, I think, probably didn't get selected after Suzuka. I really had tried hard, but I participated in most of that with no assists, so no traction control, no ABS, really
Mm-hmm.
trying to honor the car itself. Um, so more and more and more lately, I'm trying to drive things that have no assist because I'm trying
Ah.
to challenge my understanding of how tires work. And so
Right.
I like GR86s because I feel like the ABS and stuff just like you can just lean on it, man. You can just
Yeah.
slam the brake and it doesn't
Yep.
matter. I'm not going to go skidding off of the track. I trust the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like being in my comfort zone in the GR86s.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, more and more and more, I'm kind of going more towards like the Formula One and the GTPs and things like that. And I want to like them. They're still really hard and humbling. So maybe if you ask me again later, the engineer in me will be like, "Oh yeah, I found and I have found speed secrets in GTP. Let me tell you, rear ride height is
Mm-hmm.
so important. If you figure out your ride height, you have
Mm-hmm.
a better car than the rest of the field. But then
Huh.
it's like, okay, not only are you spending 5 hours working on your practice laps, but you're also spending 5 hours iterating your setup. And I really like that GR86s are fixed. So
Hmm.
just gonna say
Interesting.
that's one of my favorite aspects of them.
Hmm.
So it's kind of this
Interesting.
dichotomy of like being lazy, but also like I love that they're fun and you can just hop in and you don't really have to know how the car works to just get in and drive them.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why most of the time I'm running the fixed setup in iRacing because I don't need to think. Everybody running the same setup, so
Hmm.
we can just drive. Like, yeah, floor it and drive. And GR86 is so fun. It's like one of my favorite series in iRacing, one of my favorite car because that car is not fast, but it's so fun to drive. And by
Yeah.
saying that that car is not fast, so when something happened, you got time to actually think. Meanwhile, with the Formula, GTP, or even GT3, that car is so fast. So when there's a crash, you don't actually have time to react to it because reaction time is something that you need to train. I believe in that, right?
Yes. Yes. And you need consistent practice because it's not like riding a bike. I mean, you have to maintain it.
Right, right. And oh wait, so Seb knows you. The F1 is engineer knows you. I know the name was
Hi.
familiar. I saw you racing in that. Oh my god, the world is so small.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I love that these programs exist because like a year ago I didn't have really much of a network at all.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Rock the Rig and also High Tech Valkyries. I did a Bosch Motorsport in conjunction with Lynn St. James,
Oh wow.
had hosted this program at Portland Formula E
Mhm.
called Electrify Your Career. And then one of the gals representatives, she's a software engineer for Bosch,
Oh
had
wow. Cool.
hosted this podcast yesterday with 5 other female motorsport engineers at the professional level,
At the
which was
professional.
just
Wow.
incredible, right? But all of
Yep.
this has really only been recently, and it's only because people intentionally are trying to network women.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So,
right. Huh, wow. And honestly, by the way, transmission and also Kerry, don't worry. Speaking about ACC and stuff, there will be a lot of interesting things coming up this year in Screen to Speed. So maybe you guys want to join. So don't forget to give us a follow on social media because we'll be updating a lot of event. There will be a lot of upcoming event. By the way, Kerry, I would love to have you in it. Please, 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 please. So we are going
yeah.
to have the upcoming Screen to Speed and we'll be racing in F4. So we'll be driving Formula car, finally. Formula car, and we'll be driving the um a different tracks because normally we are in Screen to Speed, we are running in Laguna Seca, Okayama, Alton
Mhm.
Park, but This time we are bringing some challenge for all the girls out there. We are taking three of the most challenging track in iRacing. I think you should be know that. Or should I tell it now or not? Or do you want to?
I want to know.
Okay, okay, I'll tell you one of the track. Okay, I cannot
Okay.
share it all, but okay, it will be F4 at Butters.
I love Bathurst. I have
There we
crashed
go.
in Forest Elbows so many times. I'm ready. Um, I just have to make sure I'm available because I've committed myself so much this season, just trying to get out and prove
True.
that as an engineer, I can help people improve their race outcomes, you know? So
Mm-hmm,
that's a
mm-hmm.
really high priority. I've promised them I'll be there, but I promise to you, if I am not already obligated or committed, I will be there.
Oh my god, thank you. Love you so much. Because, oh my god, I'm super excited. Super excited because this is the first time I'm handling like this event in Screen to Speed. So I'm inviting all my girls to join because I feel like all the girls that I know that plays iRacing, they love the F4. So I'm like, you know what? I'll give you guys an F4. Okay? I'll give you a Formula car. I give you a challenging track. So we have a beef. We will have a beef. We will have a beef, by the way, so don't forget, guys. So if you know anyone, any girls out there who's racing in iRacing and kinda interested to join the F4, please tell the girls to follow us on social media at Screen to Speed and at INIT Esports because we will announce something special for everyone.
And
That
don't
will
be
be fun.
intimidated. You don't have to be somebody who's good. I know I'm someone who, if I don't feel like I'm going to perform that well, I'm kind of scared to just jump in, but
Yeah,
I'm going to do it. I will be there, even if I'm in, mid pack or not even in
it's
the mid
fine.
pack. But we have to show up in order to form a community. And I would not get to know people if
Exactly.
I didn't put myself out there as, as still a work in progress, So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a girl and
Exactly.
you're watching this and you have any want to drive, if you could take anything away from this, all of the technical stuff, all of the blah 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 car setup, it's that
Mm-hmm.
if you have a desire to drive, then please come join us.
Please, 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 please. Because I know there are a lot of girls out there who play racing game or who's racing in the simulator, but I don't know. We need more girls. So girls, don't be shy. Just join. Cause sometimes I feel like the girls are like, oh no, I'm not fast enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And I'm like, yeah, just like Sophie said, just do it.
I can help you with that.
See,
I can't teach people to want to do it. So the want is more important than the pace. We
see,
can work with it.
the pace will come. The speed will
Yes,
come. Everybody
it
said that.
will. It will. It's
Jacob always
hard.
said that to me. Like the speed will come. Don't worry. Be
Hmm.
consistent. Yvonne said that. Be consistent. Keep the car on the track. You
Yeah.
will be fine. The speed
Even
will
if
come.
Even if you have a hard time keeping it on track at first, before you can be fast, you've got to crash a lot of cars on a sim, not in real life.
Not in real life. Yep. Not in real
But
life.
but that's the beautiful part of the sim. It's accessible. We can learn how to work through that fear and the intimidation and the self-consciousness and whatever else holds us back. We can work through it
Yep.
together.
Yep. And you improve a lot by driving with faster drivers. I feel you in that. I feel you in that. So that's how I see in Screen to Speed in Winter Cup. Okay, so the Screen to Speed Winter Cup, the front row is always the battle between Nina and Bianca. Nina Bianca, Nina Bianca, Nina
Bustamante?
Bianca.
No.
No,
Bianca, I
Bianca
remember.
Constantino.
Yes.
Constantino. Yep. So
I'm
it's
thinking
always
F1 Academy, sorry.
Bianca. Oh my
I mean,
god, she's
she's
so
great too,
pretty.
but
She's pretty. She's pretty. I love her so much. Like, oh god, she's so
and
amazing.
real. She's
Yeah.
like awkward sometimes, and I love it. That's my favorite part about her.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Like, I don't know, like all the girls in F1 Academy, they're amazing. Like, oh my god. Love it. I love the girls who made it to the grid in F1 Academy. Like, girls, you girls really show it. Like, okay, you know? And it really inspired me to actually keep pushing myself because if you look into their social media, if you look into their racing career, they are racing, they are making content, they keep themselves self healthy and stuff. Like it's a lot of things to do, and wow, and this girl can keep up with that, keep up with the pressure, and also keep up with, not gonna lie, sometimes, like people gonna put a comment on, no, 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 but the point is you keep on going, you keep running. That's the most important thing. And at least for me at this point, I feel like racing is not just about racing or going fast, but also dealing with your mental, like how you keep up
Mhm.
with everything. When everything goes wrong on the track, how do you keep up with that? How do you, you know?
But also kind of like what Max Verstappen said is, would you force your kid to race? Which was absolutely not. Only if they want to race. That's it. You have to have the want. That comes first. So, and I feel like so many girls, they're scared to want it because they don't internalize the racing. They see it as something other than themselves or bigger than themselves because they don't currently identify as a fast driver. But
Don't
of course,
say
that's
that.
silly. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. So
Exactly.
even if you're like, that sounds way out of my league or way over my head, but it's so awesome and I'd like to try it. Um, do it, do it,
Just do
do
it. Do it.
it.
Exactly. Just do it. Because just look into everyone. Like all the good drivers in the sim, they crash at some point. Even the pro driver can make a mistake. So don't be
Mhm.
afraid to make a mistake. Don't be afraid
Yeah,
to crash. I
it means you're
think that's what I
trying.
learned. Yeah.
And to have feelings about it means you care. If you're scared, it means you care. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay to feel
True.
scared
It's okay to
or
feel scared.
whatever.
Yeah, I learned that from Cybra Cook. So I met her in the Screen to Speed Las Vegas two
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago.
With
Or
Kelly Moss.
yep, with Kelly Boss. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I was like, okay, I was preparing for my race, and I was like, I tell her like, oh my god, I'm so nervous. I'm so afraid because it was the first time for me to race in a LAN event. Like having a lot of people watching. We were in the front page of Twitch, and the race
Ugh,
was
it gives
happening.
me goosebumps to even imagine it for you.
Yep, and it was like it was happening in the middle of the NASCAR race at the racetrack, so people can take a peek at it. Like, oh, there's a girl racing. Oh my god! And
Yeah.
I was so nervous back then. Like, I was so afraid. Like, oh, should I give up now? And then I remember Cybra told me that being nervous is good actually. And doesn't matter how many races you've done, you will have that feeling. That feeling won't go away. So girls, if you feel afraid, if you feel nervous, just do it. Sometimes you have to push yourself to the point that you don't think you can make it, but look at the end. Whatever
Yeah.
the result, as long you're trying, as long you brave enough to throw yourself into it, that's already a win for me. That's already
Well,
a win.
also, what's the difference between nervousness and excitement? It's perspective. So I would say, yes, I sometimes still feel nervous before I get in the car, but I also get this positive feedback that I am excited to get in the car. So I think that, yeah, the nervousness may never go away, but it's not torture forever. Like if you do have the want and the drive to do it, eventually you get that positive also, the excitement that comes with it, I think.
Right. And speaking about nervous or feeling afraid, I'm still feeling nervous every time I'm doing this interview. Well, we're already like on episode 8 right now, and I'm still feeling nervous. I'm
Yeah.
still nervous going into the race. I
Well, you
think
sound great
too
doing the
much.
podcast.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying
This
to
is
do my
well done.
best. Trying to do my best to make my guests feeling comfortable. Like trying to, you got this, we got this, we will have fun. Because all I want is to be my guest. Like, all I want for my guest is like, I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to be happy in this interview. And that's the most important thing. Because what's the point of having a good topic in the interview, but none of us actually click to each other? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad to be here. I am glad you're here. Thank you again for doing this and all you do and all that INIT does, screen to speed and these efforts. I one of the pieces of feedback I hear often is you shouldn't try to recruit girls just for the sake of it. Like that doesn't help anybody. But I think it's not like that for me. It's that it takes women like you to open the door and invite people like me in for us to feel welcome. So you do make me feel comfortable. You make me glad to be here and glad to be part of the community.
Thank you so much. Oh my god, you, Jamie, and everyone. Oh my god, thank you. I'm trying my best to bring the best experience for the girls because I came from Indonesia, and in Indonesia we don't have a female sim racer, so I was the only one, the one and only. Nobody wants to take this path, as in like for some people getting into sim racing can be frustrating at first because you don't know what to do. at least for the first 3 months, the first 6 months, or even the first year, you don't know what you don't know. And that's normal. And I think I don't want to say that I'm brave enough to keep on doing it, or maybe I was dumb enough to keep on doing it. Like, keep repeating the same mistake until I realize, okay, that was a mistake, and how do I fix it?
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes it you need one person to get out there and like prove it that we can do it. Stubborn enough. Yes, I was stubborn. But sometimes you have to keep on repeating that mistake until you realize that was a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, and that's sometimes we don't even recognize them as mistakes because they're just the best we can do at the time. And then later we realize, okay, we have opportunity. That's what it is. It's opportunity. Oh, you're not perfect? Weird. Well, everyone else is perfect. So, no, I'm just kidding. But you know,
Yeah, yeah,
so at some point we start asking the correct questions. But the
yeah.
important thing is like I was trying to say before, is the desire. Like if racing excites a girl or roller coasters or whatever, chances are she's got a need for speed. And there is no minimum barrier to enter besides having even just a controller, and you can
Exactly.
start.
You can
You don't
start.
have to have anything more than a desire and basic resources.
Yep, true. Because sometimes, like, it's not, I'm not talking about the girls, I'm talking about sim racers in general. Like, when they want to start getting into sim racing, they will think about fancy wheel,
Mhm.
fancy pedals, and everything.
Mhm.
And I always keep on saying this to everyone, don't you ever think about that first? You know what? The first thing that you need to do is driving.
Mhm.
Try it, and then later if you want to make an upgrade, it's up to you. But it's not necessary to have like a fancy wheel, a fancy pedal as a start, because all
It
you
can
need is willing to drive, willing to
it can
learn.
be hard though. I will say, I would have rather started with a controller than like really, really, really cheap wheel and pedal setup because it just it's hard to say like explain it, but I just felt like it was so distracting at first that I needed some suspension of disbelief that what I was using wasn't really a car because I spent so much time in a car that I got so hung up on this Logitech is junk or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying Logitech is junk. I'm just saying that's like I felt so numb and clumsy, and I just couldn't get a sense of how fast the car was going and stuff. And it just would have been simpler for me to have not spun myself in circles over that. Like I think
Yeah.
because your brain adapts. Like a can controller does not look or feel like a car, but your brain is still immersing itself in what matters, which is
Right.
how what input do I need to give to get an output. And sim racing is infinitely useful for that because it forces your brain to adapt. Like reading, you know those word puzzles where it'll have like a paragraph and the first and last letter is the same, but they've scrambled all the letters in the middle. And it takes you a second to like get a lay for
Ah,
what's happening, but
yep.
then after your mind adapts, then you can read the whole thing.
Right.
Um, and I think that controllers and stuff can and sim hardware can be that way where there's always some amount of interpretation, right?
Right.
So it doesn't have to be 100% real for you to have valuable
Experience
gain
or
something valuable from it.
yeah, true. Going from wait, that was my gateway drug, a controller and GT Sport. Yep. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of good controller player out there, and I even that I'm 4 years in sim racing. Like, I've been doing sim racing for 4 years. I think now it's like my fourth years. I don't think I can beat the controller player. Like, no, I don't think I can. I tried
They're
to
pretty
drive once.
dedicated. If
Yep.
they've gotten that far, if they're racing in 2 3K splits on iRacing with a controller, like
No, that's crazy. Yep. I salute everyone, all the controller players out there. Like really,
yeah,
really. Like,
I see and honor and respect talent. When I see it, I won't, just it's not less than just because they don't have nice hardware or whatever.
when I'm driving on the controller, my brain doesn't really notice the difference. My brain makes it feel like the same as the wheel. Yep. And 2.5 years. into getting serious about it. Good luck with your journey, by the way. Good luck. I really hope that one day I can race with you in ACC or hopefully iRacing.
Yeah, we
iRacing.
will. I mean, I'm not gonna be selling my sim rig anytime soon,
Me
so
neither. I'm not
it's
gonna.
inevitable.
Uh-huh. Don't worry, don't worry. Oh my god, Kerry, we should do some drive together at some point. Like,
You're
oh
on.
my god. Oh my god. I'm super
And then
excited.
I can tell you all the things you're doing better than me too. After we drive, we can rendezvous, and I'll give you a recap. I'll give you an engineer recap.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like Kerry should be the screen to speed engineer. Guys, Sophie, Yvonne, everyone, do you guys agree that Kerry should be our race engineer? Our screen to speed race engineer. Oh my god, that would be so amazing. Like super amazing because again, I don't this is the first time for me to meet someone that has a really big passion in engineer. Like wow. Well, we have Victoria. Victoria is like one of the dream team member, and I interviewed her like last month, I think. She
So
has
now
an
I'm gonna have to
interest.
go watch her. Now I have to go on Twitch and go watch the other episodes
Oh my god.
so I
So
can learn about Victoria.
Victoria, she's amazing. She is super amazing. Amazing. Like super, 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 super amazing. I love her so much. She's very young. Like she's very young. Oh my god, she's like a little sister for me. But she has lots of knowledge about science, about engineer, and I learned from her. Like, oh wow, that's how you do it. Oh wow. Yes, so talking about setups, this is that. Oh my god, she's planning to go to mechanical engineer, I think.
Great. I mean, it sounds like a good career for her. And I mean, like I said, I mean, engineering is a way to be high impact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Yeah.
can be creative and innovative and still honor the people element of anything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that being someone who brings passion, not just doing it because it's a job, I think it's wonderful. The world needs people like that of any gender. It doesn't matter how old you are or young you are.
Yeah.
I think that
True.
that's giving your gift to the world.
Yep. I think that's what I like about sim racing because sim racing really give me a chance to meet a lot of different people from different background, sharing different passion. Like, oh wow, it's just that I don't think I will meet you in this lifetime if I'm not getting into sim racing, Kerry. Because
Yeah. I mean,
like
yeah, that's true. I mean, I but then you
seriously.
moved all the way from Indonesia to California, and I do come down to California to race. So,
When?
it's not entirely I'm gonna be down there in October to go race at Chuckwalla in the desert because
Oh
here it
wow.
our weather gets bad here in October and it's cold and none of the
Right.
racetracks run. So I
Uh-huh.
have to go down there. So I'll be in
Oh.
your neck of the woods. I will
Oh my god.
probably run into you someday.
Oh my god. Oh my god. One day if you're racing in California, I promise to you I will come to your race. Same like Jamie. Jamie will have her first karting race, I think karting championship. And I told her like, you know what? One day if I go to Las Vegas, to Nevada, I will come and see you. I would
Yeah,
love to
we'll
support
root for
all my
Team
girls.
Girl.
Let's go
Yeah,
girls! Oh my god.
let's go. I
I'm
mean, I'm not as
super
useful with the
happy.
cart setup, but I can be there and check tires, man.
Check
Be right there.
tires. That will be helpful, don't worry. I'm super happy because you know what? It's our mission here in Screen to Speed and INIT Esports to give the girls an opportunity to make it in motorsport. Doesn't matter if you want to be a driver, if you want to be an engineer, or if you want to be in journalism, part of it. Like, we are here to help you, to open the path for you.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy, like our last two guests, like you and Jamie. Jamie doing a real karting things, and you're doing real racing. It's like it. I feel like we are here and we serve the purpose. Like, we will do our best, of course, like to open the path for you because yeah, whenever we are having an opportunity, like oh, there's a real event coming up, and we need like 10 female sim racers to compete, and the winner will get a chance to sit in real race car just like Hirsha, the first winner.
Yeah.
You know what? I would love to see you in it. Like, I would love to see different girls, different winner in every series because yeah, oh my god.
And we're here to support each other to prove we're not second rate. Bringing girls into motorsports does not mean it's a charity or a handout or that we didn't put in the work or that we're not absolutely grinding every step of the way just torturing ourselves trying to figure out how to get to that next level, you know?
Yeah.
We're every bit as passionate and we have every bit as much potential and talent and, meeting other women in the winner's circle and being
Mm-hmm.
like, "You helped me get here." I
Yeah.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
how incredible, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm super happy because well, it's not like I don't like hanging with the boys or something like that.
Yeah, men are great
Sab,
too,
I
and I
love you.
spend lots of time.
Sab, I love you. Pepsi man, I love you. You are my friend. You are my family. But it feels different when when you're like playing with the girls. It feels like more connected. You know,
Yeah.
like
I work mostly with men, like, and I
yeah.
love it. I have no problems working with men. It's not weird. It's not awkward. My husband has no concerns with it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. But you're right. It does feel different to compete with women, and it hits different, and it feeds a part of my soul that I didn't. I prior to really getting to network with women, I didn't know I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we do.
Yeah, I mean,
That it's
it feels
important.
different when you're like having a battle with your friends and especially it's your girlfriends, you know? It feels
Yeah.
special indeed. Like, it's easy for me to build a trust when I'm racing with my friends, with my female friends. Like, okay, let's do
Yeah.
this, let's do
I
this.
drive my
Girls!
friends harder.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah.
do. Oh yeah,
Yep.
but fair. Tough but fair. But I will absolutely drive my friends
Well, sometimes I
harder.
overcook my tires, so I hit my friends, but it wasn't on purpose. So, I'm sorry, but it means you're special to me. Like, yeah, if I hit you, you're special. But seriously, it feels special, and I'm super happy to see the INIT community keeps on growing. I see new people coming in, and now we are having a different competition, not just in iRacing. We are in console too, and hopefully in the future we will have in ACC, in F1 game. So like to find more women, more talent, because what's the point of being good but you're only doing it by yourself? Like, life
Lonely.
will be better when you have friends in it, like when you have
Yes.
someone alongside and help you to grow, help you to become a better driver. It feels amazing, like super super
Agree.
amazing. Oh my god, Kerry, I'm so happy, super happy, like super super happy to finally meeting you in INIT Talks. We are having a chat because again, it's not like we are having a chat every day because we got
No.
things to do.
Yeah.
So I'm super super happy to finally like to find you, to found you.
Likewise. Thank
Like,
you for helping to bring the community together because I'm someone who kind of is on the outer orbit and like I said, like being invited in, it's huge.
thank you so much, and I will keep on doing my best to to bring, not like to bring more girls, but to highlight more girls here because you guys deserve it. Like, you guys deserve a spotlight. Everybody in the community deserve a spotlight. Like, we want to hear your story. We want to know, like, how did you get into sim racing? What are your passions? And I love it. I just love it. I love talking to my girls. I love spending time with you girls. And from here, I feel like we are slowly like gathering people, gathering like a group of girls, and we do some drive together at some point. Oh my
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's literally all this community is, really, right? I
god.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
so, but it's important too. I just wanted to say before we close out, like one important thing. So,
Yeah.
in 2018, when I had that mental shift of, going from, oh, sim racing is just for gamers. It's a game. It's fake. It's not real. It
Right.
won't help me. The person who sat me down and had that conversation of here's the potential for sim racing and how you can use it to bridge the gap to real racing. He's the founder of Racer on Rails. So I am engineering for the team founded by the person who encouraged me to take a leap for myself. You don't know how the people that you are meeting right now are going to change the future. You know what I mean? And could
Mm-hmm.
open doors and do amazing things and take you with them. So, not just for myself, but for
Yeah.
you, the people that you're influencing, the people that you're inspiring to get started and take that step, take that leap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you don't know where that will lead them. And I hope that you get the fruits of your labor someday with this community and how the women will grow, by
Yay.
having that community and the support
Mm-hmm.
and that connectedness
Yep.
can help people thrive. So even if you don't see the fruits, episode 8, that
Yeah.
you're just getting started, but I cannot. encourage you enough, because just like my friends at Racer on Rails helped me help myself. They encouraged me to take that step because I wouldn't be here if I didn't put in the work, but
Mm-hmm.
I also wouldn't be here if they hadn't invited me to take that step.
Exactly. I wouldn't be here if I'm not meeting Steffi and Screen to Speed. If I'm not racing in Screen to Speed, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's just amazing that meeting people can actually change your life, change your path in life, I must say. Because again, I came from beauty industry. I was a beauty blogger before I become a gamer, and I never thought that I will take this path in my life, like become someone who's going to a racetrack almost every weekend.
That's amazing. I
That's so
love that.
crazy. That's super crazy. If
You
I
took
look
your
back,
passion and made it your own.
yeah, I mean, one day I came to my parents just saying that, you know what, I want to quit my job and I want to become a gamer. And this is not, I'm not asking for permission. It's an announcement. So yeah, my parents, if you don't take
Like
it,
coming
I'll,
out.
yeah, if you don't take it, I don't care. I will take this path. And I literally left my job, Carrie. Like I left my job
I love
and
that.
try to pursue what I want in life or what I think it's right for me. And here I am today, meeting you, meeting
Yeah.
everyone, all the wonderful people, going to racetrack, like trying to understand how does the tire works in the
Yeah.
sim.
Yeah. Which is hard because you're learning how a tire works with no feel, no literal
Yep.
feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's incredible. And then to see all the sim racers who prove that you can go from sim racing to real racing and learn to thrive. You can
Mm-hmm.
do it.
I'm
It's
into that. I'm in.
mind blowing.
I'm into that. One day I want to race in NASCAR because I love turning left. I love the challenge in it. I love how, not like how brutal, but how challenging it is to drive the
Yeah.
stock car. Like I want it one day. Hopefully one day. Hopefully. Oh my god,
When are
I'm
we going
into
to
it.
change that to I can close my eyes and picture it now? May not be happening right now, but in my mind it's happening because you deserve it.
I'm into that.
Visualization is important. It's powerful.
Oh well, true.
Let's
I keep on
scratch this
telling to
someday.
myself that, like, you know what? Doesn't matter where you start. If you want it, you will get it. And I'm that type of person. When I want it, I will find my way to get it.
I will see you someday at a NASCAR race.
I'm into that. I'm into that. And really, oh my God, Kerry, thank you so much. By the way, before we end the podcast, I have this question for you. Oh, actually, I have two questions. First of all,
Okay.
what is your main goal in
Um,
motorsport?
okay. Do you want to give both? Should I answer that one before we do the second one?
Okay. I
Okay.
think I'm just gonna ask one question at a time. So first,
Okay.
what are your main goals?
So my main goal is to be a high impact engineer. I want to impact other people's lives. I want to empower and inspire them. But I want to do that by making it into the professional racing arenas. So my husband, who I met along the way, has been a huge inspiration to me. And he aspires to get to like SRO or IMSA, and I want to go with. I'd ideally like to do it as a driver, as a privateer driver, because I don't want to be able to be fired. It sounds
Oh,
cheesy, but I choose me. I chose me for this path, and you can't fire me. So I'd like to do it as a privateer, which sounds absolutely insane because I have no money and it's infinitely expensive. But even if I don't make it as a driver, I refuse to get left behind when he goes pro. So if I can't get in as a driver, I will get in as an engineer. Either way, I am not getting left home. I want to go pro racing. And if I could do anything else with my life, if I lived long enough, I'd like to do off-road racing like stage rally or like Pro 2 light trucks. Like when we did that with the screen
huh.
to speed, I didn't know I loved those. And oh my gosh, I had so much fun practicing for that. And
What?
I would do that in a heartbeat. Like I would do that and it'd be fun and it would
Mm-hmm.
be so expensive, but I would just be in my happy space.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's super amazing. That's the real passion right here, guys. Get it, mama? Yes! Go get it, Kerry. Go
I
get
am
it.
not afraid to get these hands dirty. It's gonna happen.
See? It's going to happen. We believe in you, not just me, but everyone here in the chat really believe in you. You are going to make it, and we are here to support you. So please, 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 if you're racing, let us know. Let us know on Discord or maybe on social media. Just let us know, tag us, because we are happy to support you. Like
Thank you.
we'll be happy to support you in many ways. In many ways. So please send me your calendar, send me your schedule, so we can like help you boost as in like making a post for you and supporting you on social media, because social media is very important nowadays. Like that's
Yeah,
your front face on the internet. Like yes, so we are trying our best to highlight you and to support you.
thank you.
Okay, down to the next question, the second one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, okay, here's the thing. If you fail in motorsport, will you take another path? Will you take another career path, or you wanna stick with it?
No, there's no way to fail. I mean, I'll have failures along the way, but as long as I don't quit, I'll get where I want to go. I'm not someone who subscribes to I'm not having fun if I'm not winning. For me, it's the other way. I have fun and it leads me to winning. And for me, all of this is so instinctual. You know, if I got to a point where racing stopped being fun, I'd probably go be a beach bum on a jungle somewhere because I like surfing because I like the
Oh,
energy of the waves and catching the waves and the feel, and I like
oh,
roller coasters, and so I don't think that I'll ever truly fall out of love with my with loving to experience physics and g-forces and the nature of the world, and I love to travel, so and racing can help me travel.
right,
So I
true.
just don't see me ever like truly retiring. Like if I grow old and I age out as a driver, I'll still probably coach people
Oh,
and try to help people or start a foundation or join a foundation or something
uh-huh.
in the motorsport world. But I don't think there's anything else for me. Not because I don't think that I would be happy doing anything else. I could be happy doing just about anything else, but this is truly like all I've ever wanted ever.
True,
So,
true. Same here. I don't think. I mean, if I failed here, I don't know. Maybe I will keep on doing it. I will keep on trying it until I reach my own level of success. Because everyone has a different level of success, right? Some people want to
well,
be a world champion. Some people,
yeah.
you know.
The only way you could truly fail is quit. So you're asking me if you ever quit, would you do something else? Well, I don't plan on quitting, so I don't understand the question.
Right, right. No, because sometimes when I ask this question to other people, people will mention like different path. Like, oh yeah, if I felt in sim racing, maybe I'll become this, I'll become that.
Mhm.
We have that kind
And
of.
that's fair.
That's
Yeah, I
fair.
mean
Yeah.
that's totally fair. But for me, so outside of this, my husband and I quit our day jobs a few years ago. I had a great paying career. I have a master's degree and I was a data scientist, and I could have pursued that and been like kind of happy, but not raced as much as I wanted to. And I
Mm-hmm.
could always fall back on it, but I can't. So we ended up starting a two-bay shop where we build
Oh.
and maintain sports cars and race cars for our local community.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I found that it's difficult. It's very difficult, but it's rewarding. And we've created a whole lifestyle. So every day I wake up, eat, breathe cars and racing and motorsports and car setups and goals and our upcoming schedule, not just for this year, but next year. And, you know, so it's literally I eat and breathe. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's
Yep.
obsessive, and to some people it seems extreme.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have other hobbies out. Like traveling is a hobby, and
Mm-hmm.
I like spending time with my dog and going for hikes. And but I don't have to quit racing to enjoy those things. You know
To
what I
enjoy
mean?
those things. Right, right. That's
So,
true. That's the spirit, and I love it because sometimes I like to ask this question, not like to judge people if they really love doing it or whatever, but it's more like I want to know like what's in your mind one day, because we have our, I don't know how do I say it, like we have our low time, I must say, like when you feel like everything is wrong, you want to give
yeah.
up.
Yeah,
It's normal to have that.
absolutely. I'm there all the time. Like, dude, did I make a mistake leaving my day job? Because I'm still not making money and I don't feel like I'm good at this and I can't afford to go back to college to become an engineer by title, like
Mm-hmm.
by degree or
My
licensure.
degree. Yeah.
And so at what point am I going to give myself permission to actually call myself an engineer? How good do I have to get before I say, "Hi, I'm Keri. I'm a motorsport engineer." and say it with confidence like I just did.
Yeah.
But like to say that in an environment where there's actual engineers, and I say that like I haven't internalized that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's like my biggest struggle is just embracing and accepting what's already mine. I don't need permission to call
True.
myself an engineer. No one's going to sue me for calling myself an engineer as
Mm-hmm.
long as I don't perform unlicensed acts of
Right.
engineering for people,
Yeah.
which I do not do. But
Mm-hmm.
um, anyways, I think we just have to learn how to give ourselves permission to want it. Like, I want
Mm.
this. I want this I don't plan on having kids. I come
Right.
from a big family. I have 7 siblings. They all have kids. Like,
That's a
that
big
part is
family.
not needed from me. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
so
really big one.
truly, yeah, and truly, I'm in this great position that I think that if I had kids, I would have less of my gift to give the world. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I really want to give the world is the empowerment piece, and I want
Right.
to give as much of it as I can in my lifetime. And the only way I'll do that is by pursuing what I love. And I won't do that by quitting, you
Yep.
know?
True. Quitting is
So,
not an option. Like never,
mm-mm.
never an
No,
option.
I might have to take a step back from an environment or a series. I've encountered
Mm.
bullies and gotten injured on track in
Oh.
karting, and so I had to take a step back from karting because I will not back down getting shoved on, and I'd
Right.
rather wreck a car with a cage on principle. I do not wreck cars on my own accord, but I will absolutely not back down from a bully anymore.
Yep.
So, there's times where I've had to just say, I'm going to sell my cart because I don't think risking breaking ribs is worth proving
Mm-hmm.
to myself that I can do this and I deserve the space I take up on track. The better thing to do is to find an environment where I feel like my peers respect me and they honor and relish the challenge of competing with me fair and square. And they give me that space, but they don't give it away, right? We're like tough but fair fighting. So I've had to like walk away, like quit specific things to
Mm-hmm.
move on to other things to find
Right.
communities where I can thrive.
I can
So,
drive. Exactly. Yep. And transmission, by the way, you're not a failure. I mean, some people, I mean, all of us failed in some things, and it will happen to everyone, but it doesn't mean you're a failure. And as long you're not giving up, that's the most important thing. As long you keep on going, that's the most important thing, and that's all we need. Not
mhm.
just you, that's all we need. Because
I've embarrassed myself plenty of times.
don't worry, yep. You know, like even I'm not saying I'm the pro, but I'm still making a lot of mistakes, like a lot. But no shame. Like yeah, people made mistakes. Yeah, everybody made mistakes. If you struggle in sim racing, please remember that everyone else struggles too. So the struggle is not just yours, but it belongs to everyone. That's how
And
I
it's an
felt.
appropriate place to struggle. Going to like a professional race and renting a seat from an IMSA car and then crashing it is maybe not appropriate. But being on a simulator and racing a car that gets raced in IMSA and struggling is appropriate. And
Mm-hmm.
iRacing has a competition ladder and the iRating structure so that there's a race for everybody. Like
Yeah,
if you want to race, there's a race for you,
exactly.
you
If
know.
you want to race, there's a race for you. And that's the good thing about simulator is you can keep on doing over and over. Cause
And you don't have to keep buying new cars. Like it's
exactly.
expensive, so expensive to be like, I want to try drifting, and then you have to build a drift car. I want to try NASCAR, and then you have to buy a stock car. And then I want to try. My husband likes sports cars that are as fast as sport bikes.
Uh-huh.
They are so expensive
Like
to
crazy
be like
expensive.
4 or 5 pounds per horsepower. And
Jesus.
so, then he's like, well, I want something that has bigger room for more tires, right? And that's another $80,000 to buy a car and then build
Jesus.
it to be that fast. It's just, like to get to explore in the simulator, it costs you like a $60 game is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs, I mean, to make setup changes is a click of a button, and you
Right.
can learn what setup changes do rather
Mm-hmm.
than being up 10 hours aligning and corner balancing a sports car because you did a spring change and
Mm-hmm.
you want to make sure your ride height's ready to go.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's okay to fail in an environment that's meant to be accessible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some people needs to experience, or all of us, we need to experience the failure in order to succeed. Because, don't worry, speaking about my sim racing career, back in the day, I did almost 600 laps trying to qualify in high level of competition, and I still failed. Don't worry, I total failed. 600 laps in the last 24 hours around Red Bull Ring, and I failed. I cried. I cried because I failed,
Oh.
but I didn't give up. Like, okay, I cried today, but we try again tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. It's a space for another mistake, but we learned something today. We're gonna learn from that, leave it behind, and
Mhm.
continue. So,
Not just as drivers too, but as an engineer, I won't name names because it's not important. I'm not trying to crucify them, but I had almost gotten my foot in the door as a junior engineer with a professional team who's running in multiple scheduled professional schedules this season, and
wow.
ultimately they turned me down because they were worried that I would be a liability, a legal risk for like suing them for sexual assault or harassment or whatever. Which to
Right.
me is like, I mean, I never in a million years would I be worried about that. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but and I just like I cried on my bathroom floor because I wanted it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I there's nothing I can do about my gender. It's
True.
nothing I did.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we don't have to feel ashamed for being a girl. Some people can be like, yeah, because you're a girl, you don't belong here, you don't
And
deserve.
like
But who cares? I don't
I
know.
I'm I'm happily married. I'm not shopping for anyone else's husbands,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Exactly.
certainly like I don't walk around in attire that like screams, "Hey, I want your affection." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with that, but just saying that that's not how I present myself and it wasn't anything that I did and it still felt like a big failure. Like, why even bother doing this if no one's going to hire me? Because they have to be able to trust that I'm going to be able to work with their team
Actual
and
work
like
as a
sh-
professional.
because sometimes like I share a hotel room with somebody that I may not even know, you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's two beds. And to me that's like not a big deal, right? Because I'm okay with that. And I respect my boundaries. I voice my
Yeah.
boundaries. It's no big deal. Like,
True.
like it's to me it's the most simple thing. But then to decide, you know what? I and I think a lot of women struggle from this. I am going to make myself so good and so skilled at this that they're going
Mm-hmm.
to want my help anyways because otherwise their competitor is going to get my help and I'm going to help their competitor beat them.
Yeah, not
And
you,
that's
the competitor.
sometimes it takes like finding that like you pick yourself back up off the floor so to speak after your failure and
Mm-hmm.
you keep going like you with your 400 laps
Yeah.
but that's where I really circle back to if you want to do it that's it that's the number one determining factor of how successful you could possibly be.
Do you want to keep on doing it or not? That's the most important thing. Like, after you
Yes.
fail many times, do you still want to do it or not? If you still want to do it, that's
Yes.
your passion, go for it.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to do it, I'm not saying that you're not serious in it, but if you don't want to do it, maybe it's not actually your passion. Like,
Yeah. And that's I mean that's okay. Like people
that's
are still
okay.
allowed to participate in sim racing as a hobby and as a pastime. Like that doesn't make them less than. I have been humbled by plenty of people who do not take this as seriously as I do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, true, true,
So,
true.
that's okay too.
That's okay. I mean, again, if this is your passion, go for it because you only live once and you don't know. Because, yeah, you don't know about tomorrow, you don't know about the next week. So, you have to keep on doing it, do your best for today. Don't think about, yeah, you can have a long term goal, by the way, transmission and everyone. But, just do your best for
Yeah.
today. Like today is your last day and keep on doing that on repeat. I think that's what
Yeah.
I do. Like,
I'm still a nobody nothing amateur engineer at the grassroots level and but I'm still living my best life and if even if I don't make it into pro racing I'm still every day approaching my craft as though
mm-hmm.
that's exactly where I'm headed because I
Yep.
believe it to be true. As long as I don't die from an unfortunate thing before then, that's
Yeah.
literally the only thing that will stop me
Mm-hmm.
is if I age out or, if I just get hit by a bus or something. I don't have control over that.
Yeah. Something you
But
cannot
short of
control.
that, you will see me in an IMSA paddock at some point,
I
hopefully sooner
mean,
than later.
I really hope to see you in IMSA paddock. I really hope to see you on the top. I want to see you to succeed in whatever you do in life. Really, really, because you
Thank you.
deserve that, and you are amazing, super amazing. You inspire me and everyone here. I believe like to become a better person, not just a better sim racer or engineer, but also to become a better driver, a better person. I mean, I'm sorry, better person, not driver.
Yeah, because if the only thing there ever was to racing was winning, then you wouldn't need competitors, right? You could just set lap times.
Uh huh. Yeah,
But to
true.
be able to exist in a space with other people who are also excellent,
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes these sports beautiful.
Yep, true. Because, like in a race, there's only one winner. The rest is not winning, okay? So, like, yeah, if you're not winning the race, you are still learning something. And there's a lot of things that you can learn on the track during the race, not just about winning. Trying to battle the guy in front of you, people in front of you. That's already a challenge. And if you're able to pass someone in a race, that's already a win. If you
Yeah.
gain so much position in a race, for example, you're starting from fourth, no, from 10, you finish fourth, it's already winning. You overtake six people in the track, and that's amazing.
Well, and also, do you think Max Verstappen goes, "Well, I'm already winning, so I don't need to get any better. I'm already winning, so I don't need to learn from anyone else in this paddock." Do you think that Max Verstappen doesn't study his competitors,
Hmm.
you know, to see
Yep.
what their strengths are and where if they're closing the gap on him, how and why? And
Mm-hmm.
is there some of that opportunity left for him to learn, even if he's already winning by like a mile, right?
Yeah.
If he didn't respect his competitors, if he just went, huh, like I'm already beating them,
The
they can't touch me,
best.
they'll never touch me, and you just don't see that from him,
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? It's because you need other people in racing who are
You
great to
need a
make you.
competitor. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, having a lot of competitor means that is a healthy industry. It's a healthy competition. If you keep on learning, if you keep on, okay, you step out of your comfort zone. Okay, what do I need to learn? Why does
Mhm.
this people are suddenly so fast? What did I do
Yeah.
wrong? You
Yeah,
know?
and the more people who are competing for the front, the more sponsorship dollars that there likely are available in that series, you know?
True.
I mean, it's just
That's
simple
how the industry
economics, right?
works. Yeah.
So so if you're already winning, what is a motivation to help other people? Well, you have access to more sponsorship dollars in theory.
Mm-hmm.
If you help level up the entire field and you still win, there's
Yeah.
just more available. So I think even whether you're someone who's still rising, like myself and like you,
Mm-hmm.
or you're somebody who's already at the top, and yet you're asking yourself, how can I do more? I think
Yeah.
that exactly what we're doing now and sharing ideas and sharing how that makes us feel and how other people inspire us to do more. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's an endless pursuit. It's lifelong.
Yep. It is. Wow. And sim racing has taught me patience, lots and lots.
Yeah.
For me, sim racing taught me to push myself to the limit where I think that I'm at my limit, but it turns out it's not my limit,
Mhm.
you know?
And you'll find in the data, you will find the answer to what was a lie.
The data
You
doesn't
thought
lie.
you'll think all of these things. You'll assume all of these things, and then the data will come and surprise you.
Yep. The data doesn't lie. Motec doesn't lie. I feel so attacked every time I look into my Motec. Like I had like a coach back in the day coaching me for stuff, and we look into my data, our data. Oh, you sure you break at 100 sign? Yeah, I'm sure. Really sure about that. Then look into it. Oh god, I feel so attacked. Okay,
Or or are you sure you didn't lift off of the throttle after you got in on the throttle? Are you sure you
I
didn't
feel so
lift?
attacked.
Not even a
Ah!
little bit? Oh, me too. All the time,
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
right here.
I feel so attacked, and then my coach said that the data doesn't lie, else. Even if you think that you break at the right mark, you are not.
Mhm.
And wow, I feel like, oh my god, okay, I think my instinct was wrong back then. Okay, I'll do my best in the
But
next
it's
one.
endless. It's endless. Even now, if you go back, I'm sure there's things that the data would highlight that you didn't know before you looked at it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's endless. I mean, even I'm sure the best of the best, they're constantly challenging what they believe to be true and pushing that envelope. That is the nature of it,
Hmm.
is to constantly be challenging what you previously thought was the limit. Because if
Hmm.
we don't, then you're self-limiting yourself by saying, "Yep, this is all there is." you
Right.
know?
I think the limit is myself most of the time, like ourself most of
Mhm.
the time. It's not
Yeah.
something else. It's not the car. It's not the gear. It's
I mean,
in you.
sometimes it's money, but
Sometimes money, but true. True.
or time. But, sometimes you just have to do the best you can with what you have. And
True.
I think it all circles back to that beautiful human element, which is when we are in the zone and we're in that flow state and we are happy and we're thriving and we're having fun, that's when we truly make miracles happen,
True.
regardless of the car setup.
Yeah, regardless of car setup. Yeah. True. Time and money, the great gifts.
Yeah. Thank goodness for sim racing.
Thank
So,
goodness, exactly. And this is what we're trying to achieve, of course. More fast ladies, more sponsors dollars. So yeah, girls, so if everyone here watching this video or in the future watching the clip from this INIT Talks, don't be afraid to join. Like, just do it. Just register, show yourself in the race, because don't worry, we are here to facilitate, like to give you girls an opportunity to learn how to race. And also, um yeah, like, what did I want to say? I kind of forgot. Oh no. Oh yeah, doesn't matter if you come from any background, any sim background, racing games, because we are here. We will have a lot of different race in different sim, in different games. So it doesn't matter where you come from, just do it. Just do
mhm.
it. Because
And by jumping
everybody.
in,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, by jumping in, you also show there's demand and you bring more sponsorship dollars to the people that are doing well too. Like you can
Exactly.
if you can directly help other people by jumping in. Even
Yep.
if you don't do well at first, you're still helping. It sounds weird, but it's true, you know.
Yeah, true. And here's the tips, not like here's the tips, but okay, I'll share it to you, transmission, and also to Keri, how I got my sponsorship. I got my first sponsorship in sim racing by winning a race. So your participation really determine like where are you going to go in the future if you want to be here in sim racing. So make sure to show up, make sure you do your best. You don't have to win in every race, you don't have to or you don't have to score the fastest lap. I mean, of course you want to be fast, but there's a
Mhm.
competition. There will be like other girls who are faster. That's why we call it a competition, right? But the most important thing is you show up, do your best, and the sponsor and big names, sometimes they are watching us when we are racing. So just show up, do our best, show up your personality, and that's how you get the sponsors.
Yeah.
Just hand dragged me into the Init server, and it has been amazing. I've known Yvonne and Sophie from another server, and I'm so happy to join everyone here. I'm so happy to have you, Keri, and everyone, of course, in Init. And I'm really looking forward for the upcoming Screen to Speed, because we'll be having it in iRacing. Back to iRacing, we'll be driving the F4 in challenging track. One of it is Butters, like Butters in F4.
Mount
Oh my god.
Panorama.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know the
We're gonna have
F4.
elevation change.
Elevation change, going downhill. I really hope that there will be no parking lots in Butters. I really hope.
We're gonna have potentially a pile up. All it takes is one person to get sideways, and then there's
And
the walls. And we're like
traffic.
trying to get unstuck. You you know I've done it. I know you've probably done it.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep. Oh my god. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be challenging because, yeah, like, why are we not leveling up our game? Like, why don't we bring a challenging track, a technical track into Screen to Speed, right? Like,
I mean, I
let's.
thought every race that I've done has been challenging for one reason or another, but I am down for trying other tracks.
Yes.
100%.
Yep, yep. Oh my god. Another, like, a different car, different tracks in the series. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be challenging. So, girls, if you wanna know more about the movement, don't forget to visit our website at www.screentospeed.com and initesports.gg, because, yeah, I know, like, some of you are not really opening social media every day, but don't worry, because you can find any info on our website. Just a little elevation change, just tiny change, it's fine.
It's fun.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to know why Bathurst is one of my all-time favorite tracks, if
Mm-hmm.
you search on YouTube, Jordan Cox,
Mm-hmm.
Bathurst, best pass of all time. I truly that one move that Jordan Cox made at the top, dropping in
To
um, at oh, what's it
Not
called?
the skyline. Skyline is the
Skyline, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
at the
Oh.
top, into the dipper, but at the
Mm-hmm.
top, it just like you have to see it. And it's a guy in a four-cylinder Honda Civic competing against like V8 cars. I mean,
Oh
talk about being
yes,
outgunned,
Jesus.
right? And after it happened, the commentators like, somebody get this kid a contract. And he did. He did. He after that he got a contract because he inspired every viewer. They felt something. You know what I mean? Like this
Mm-hmm,
track
mm-hmm.
makes me feel something. So,
Yep, yep. I think for me, the track that makes me like feeling something is Road America. I think I
mm.
love that track in real life, and I love that track in the sim. Just the flow is beautiful, the
And it's
carousel,
difficult
everything.
and
Surprisingly,
scary.
surprisingly, it's tricky. Like driving casually is fun, but actually to go fast and like oh god, especially in F4 in iRacing, it's such a challenge racing at that track. Crazy,
Yeah.
super crazy. I think
I
that
look forward
track
to being humbled.
that track really brings me joy. Like really brings me joy. Like really. If you've never signed up, we have a 3 months free code for you. See? Transmission, if you wanna race in iRacing, all you need is join our race. Because yeah, we have the 3 months free code for you. See? Don't be don't worry if you don't have iRacing and you never sign up. You can contact us, register to our race, and contact us, and yeah, we will give you the free code so you can race with us. I'm really looking forward to see you on the track because I raced with Jess Han back in the day and it was so much fun. She's so good and that was amazing. Like that was like one of the best battle I've had in Screen to Speed. The battle between me, Jess Han, and Artemis. Oh, do you know Artemis? This thing
Yeah,
Artemis?
she was in Rock the Rig also, and she
Yep.
was selected. So she's now receiving driver development through Byte's driver program,
Ah,
thanks to Red Bolt, which is incredible. I mean, what an opportunity for her, and she earned it. I mean, she from the first event, I'm pretty sure she was one of the first people selected, and
wow.
it was, I mean, definitely earned.
Wow. I think we need that program in Screen to Speed. The Screen to
Yeah.
Speed program. Like, yeah.
There were over like 80,000 laps submitted for that. Women want driver development. I mean, if you can offer them any prize, offer them a hand up to help them get faster. They will show up.
Yep. I think we need to
Yep.
start thinking about that program. How about that, girls? Like the Screen to Speed program. So, like I mean, that's our mission. We compete in the sim and the winner, the back in the day in Screen to Speed Las Vegas, the winner got a chance to actually drive the Porsche Cup in real track in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Can you imagine that? Like what?
Amazing. I can imagine how Saoirse was feeling. Like,
No, right?
and like,
And
I don't want to break it, but also Saoirse's very like a very bold driver, very confident,
she's,
So like
she
this
is.
dichotomy of being this driver who has all this confidence, but then in this new scenario, like I wish I could have been there to see it.
And guess what? She never driven a car. She's a motorcycle girl.
I just
She's
can't even imagine.
Jesus. Like that's crazy. And she was like, I never driven a race car before, not even a car. And look at her at the end of her session. She only 2 seconds slower, if I remember correctly, from Saibra.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, mad props, right? But not just
Crazy.
Saoirse and her talent and her potential, right? But all of the women that I'm getting to meet in Screen to Speed, because even with all the experience that I have, and I hop in and I'm not winning. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not because I'm not trying. It's because there's
No.
really that much talent, and I truly believe that if they had the desire, that just about any of these drivers could hop into a real car and learn how to succeed. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
truly believe in the talent that's here. It's not just a farce or a show or whatever. I mean, there is real talent being cultivated in the community. So
Yep, it is. And it's a high level. Like, it's high level, crazy fast. So, if anyone here thinking that the girls cannot be fast, you are wrong. You should watch the Screen
mm-mm.
to Speed. You should watch the Screen to Speed championship. Like, really, like, these girls are so crazy fast. They are so crazy good. Back in the day in Screen to Speed Winter Cup, I saw the battle between Nina Han and Bianca, and it was always a close battle, close battle. It was so great. It was so great to watch. And transmission, don't be afraid. Why are you afraid of iRacing? iRacing doesn't bite you. It's fine. Right, Kerry? You don't have to be afraid. It's fine.
It's hard being judged, but you have to. So here's the thing: a lot of people almost react to the I rating and
Not
stuff
really afraid.
like a
Mm-hmm.
casino, but you can't have feelings about it. Who cares what the ratings say? Who cares what people say? I turn off my driver voice chat when I'm driving. I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
listen to everybody else. Because it doesn't matter. I'm there for me, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
if as the same thing, transmission, anyone else, if you want to race, you deserve to take up space on that track. Just do it. Just do it.
Just do
Who
it.
cares? Who cares what number it is? Who cares how high the split is? Who cares what anyone else says? Who cares if you make a mistake and accidentally wreck
Exactly.
somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to get banned from iRacing from an accident.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's if you are taking this seriously, that you're trying to improve, you're not trying to take people out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Right.
pretty obvious like when it's on purpose. So
Mm-hmm.
there's really I get the feelings because I felt them, but there's
Mm-hmm.
another side to it. Like if you just jump in and allow yourself to want it, just
Mm-hmm.
like me in engineering, right? If I had
Right.
been too afraid to call myself an engineer because I didn't go to school for this,
Mm-hmm.
how many people would I have not been able to engage with? Like, like transmission, how many people could you possibly have battles with in the future if you
Sure.
just jump in? Like, there's other people you could make very happy that they got to race with you,
Mm-hmm.
that they
Yeah.
wouldn't get to if you don't take those first steps. So if you want to, you should just do it. Do it. Do
Do
it.
it,
Do
do
it.
it, do it. So I wanna see you in Screen to Speed Summer Cup in iRacing. Okay, how about that? How about that? How about
Mm.
I'll see you in Screen to Speed Summer Cup on iRacing. We will have lots of fun. We will have lots of good battle. It's gonna be interesting.
And you can battle for any position on track. Some of my favorite battles have been for last place. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
proud of it, but I mean, they were fun. But
Yeah.
I will battle anybody anywhere in the pack. I will not hold you up if I'm laps down, but I will otherwise battle you.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
I'm really looking forward to have a clean battle with you, Carrie. Really, really.
Likewise, it
Oh
would be
my
an honor.
god.
We're
Oh
gonna
my
make it happen.
god. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Oh my god. We are working on the to finalize the calendar and everything, like the track, the car, and also all the concept that I'm trying to bring to Screen to Speed Championship. So, oh my god. Once everything is done, I will send you a personal message like, "Carrie, it's done. Let's go."
Okay, please do. Well,
Yes.
thank you very much for inviting me again to do
Of
this.
course. Of
I'm
course.
honored that you wanted me on here at
Of
all.
course, you deserve to be here. You belong here. You belong in our community, Carrie. Like, oh my god, I'm super happy. Like, super, super happy. Hopefully, next time we're not just talking about driving together on the track, but what about next time? I'll do the drive and you become the engineer and you give me an input. So,
Great.
we can
I'm
make a
down.
video for it. And
Yeah.
so, for other girls, they can learn something. Or for everyone on
Yeah.
social media, they can learn something. Do you want to do
I
it?
would love that. I'm
Are
in.
you free on the
I'm
weekend or weekdays? More weekdays
uh
or weekend?
I'm I'm more available. Well, it depends during the racing season,
Mm-hmm.
weekdays. Yeah.
Weekdays.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I'll be pretty much free on the weekdays. And we live on the same time zone, Pacific time zone. Girls, another Pacific time zone girl right here. So
Makes
we
it
will,
easy.
yep, it makes it easy. So maybe we can do like like just a short race, like 1 hour race or 40 minutes race in the
Yeah.
TRS GT sprint kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
Sounds good.
we can analyze like, okay, else this is what you need to do, and I can try to communicate how I feel about the car, about the race, the struggle in the race. So because I really want to learn from you, Carrie,
Yeah.
really.
Well, the fun part is in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
we can drive. We can both drive. We can practice together, and I
Mm-hmm.
can be a roadblock for you. So we can practice. We can practice where to
Ha.
put the car, passing zones, and then
Right.
after we can do the analysis on the data,
Ha.
and we can look at the replay together and learn from each other and make setup
Right.
changes and whatever you want. I'm here. Let's do it. I'm game.
Let's do the INIT Esports Community Night. What about that, girls? Can we do a Screen to Speed Community Night? I will blast it on Discord, on INIT Discord. Hey, everyone wanna do a community night on iRacing? So, we can drive together, all of us, and hang out.
Yeah.
and hang out. That's the most
And
important
And
thing.
instead of it being one-on-one, we could have afterwards a fireside chat where we sit in Discord all together. I've done this plenty of times with other teams where
Oh
I can
wow.
share my screen and everyone can watch my analysis and
Huh.
I am an open book. If you want to learn, I
Me
don't know
too.
everything. I am also learning while I study. I'm learning from you. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I look at your data, it likely helps me learn something new also. So we can give and take and share. I'm happy to do that.
Yep, of course. Oh my god, I'm really looking forward to it. I will invite all the girls to join our community night. So maybe we can plan it like probably next Monday or next Tuesday. I'll be asking the girls like what dates or what days are work best for you girls, what time works best for everyone. So, like we can have everyone actually like in the voice chat and you know, having a chat together and yeah.
Sounds like fun. I
Of
can't wait.
course. Oh my god. And you know what? I'm super happy, guys, because INIT Esports is not just about the competition, but we are here as your safe space, as the female community in sim racing. And by being a community, it's not just about competing between each other, but also to help each other, like what we are
Yeah.
planning right now. Hi, Sharon Fly. Oh my God, Sharon. Hi, welcome to INIT Talks. Welcome. Very nice to have you here today. Very nice. Hello. Iris, I'm allowed to join. Of course. So we should do it. Like we should do it.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah,
Sounds good.
next
I
week.
can't promise that I'm gonna be a little busy in the coming weeks, but because I'll
Mm-hmm.
be traveling, usually leaving town like Thursday. So, and
Oh,
then coming
right.
back like Monday, so like
Right.
Tuesday, Wednesday is a safe space. Even if I'm traveling on either side of the week, I'll still Tuesdays, Wednesdays are usually pretty good for
Okie
me.
dokie. Huh.
So,
Okay, so basically I will blast it on Discord.
okay.
Yeah, I will tag everyone. I'll come up with a good idea. I will come up with fun idea for our community night. Our first community night. It's
I
going
can't
to
wait,
spit community
especially
night.
because I know that it's for the drivers who put a lot of time into practicing for screen to speed, they'd really like to see the rest of the competitors put in
Yeah.
that effort, put in the practice time and put in that analysis to try to bring the whole field up, right?
Mhm.
And so I think that it's a step, right?
Mhm.
I think that's competition's great for everybody. And
Competition.
we will not get better if we don't have intention, right? We have to intend to practice.
Practice makes perfect, and life will be better if we practice together because
Yes.
you will learn so much faster by practicing with your friends other than just practicing
Oh,
by yourself.
speaking of, I before we conclude, I
Mm-hmm.
know we're like over on time, but I want to go grab a book to show you really quick because
Okay.
I think it's one of the most powerful tools that I have. And for anyone who's like, well, how do I practice better?
Hmm.
I have an answer for that.
Thank you so much, Keri. She's the best. Keri is the best, by the way, guys. I'm super happy to have her. Now she's leaving, but she's grabbing her book. It's not open yet. Yes, it's not open yet, but we will give you guys an announcement when it's open. Oh wait, what's that? The Ultimate Speed Secrets.
If you have not heard of this book, consider it a racer's Bible. And it's not a one and done. You don't read it and then set it aside. You reference it. And it's got all kinds of good information. But
Huh.
one of my favorite things of this book, I tell you, like this, the fact that not everybody knows this is incredible. But it talks about practice and practice strategy. And let's see, page 263. And it talks about like
Mm-hmm.
going out and practice how you plan to race and then you'll race how you practice. So you hear people
Hmm.
say, oh, how did the race go? And it's like, oh, well, it just feels like I executed what I'd already practiced 1,000 times, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
this book has strategies about how
Practice
to
and
practice.
testing.
Like there's lapping, right? You can go and
Uh-huh.
practice and just lap and lap and lap and lap, right?
Right.
But how do we get the most out of the time, right? If I only have 40 minutes to practice,
Mm-hmm.
and then I only have 20 minutes to analyze my data, right? That's not a lot
Right.
of time.
Yep.
So I want to get the most out of it. So I'm telling you, if you've not heard of this book, I It's like my Bible.
Recommend. Yep,
So,
it's your
and it was
racing Bible.
recommended to me by my team, Racer on Rails, and it serves them very well. And
Uh-huh.
now, regardless of where they're going, they're winning. They're taking home trophies and, and doing really well, time and
Yeah.
time again. Not that they don't have things happen, things
Mm-hmm.
always happen,
Of
races don't
course.
always go how you expect, but as a whole, their races go how they practiced. And
Yep.
I think that the community night and like sharing this, maybe there's people who have practice strategies that I haven't heard of that aren't in this book,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm selfish. I'm learning from you too. But I'm really happy to share what I'm learning along the
Yep.
way
Of
with
course.
you and with the team so that the people who are busy, right, but they want to get better, maybe they can start getting the most out of the time that they are spending. So,
Yep. I will look into that. I hope it's available on
mm.
Amazon so I can just like ship it. One day shipping in Amazon.
I bought that copy. I bought it used off Amazon. It wasn't even broken in yet. It had never been read, and I bought it for not that much. So, I mean, less than you would pay put gas in your car.
Yep. I mean, yep.
Yep.
She is awesome. This has been a great show. Yeah, she is amazing. Keri makes a great guest. I love all my guests in INIT Talks. They are amazing. Like from the very first episode, Yvonne, I think Yvonne was the first guest of INIT Talks. Until now, until we have Keri, it's been amazing and I'm learning a lot. Like a lot by a lot, I mean a lot. I'm learning
Good.
something new.
It means we're building a community. We can't all be the same person. We all bring
True.
something to the table, right? And that's how teams work.
Mm-hmm. And as I said last week also, like if you girls want to learn how to be a content creator, how to deliver a content, I'm not the very best at it, but I can help you with that. Like,
I could use help with that. I have a
yes,
hard time putting myself out there.
the most important thing is be consistent.
Yeah.
Just like in driving, like be consistent. Consistency is key. So yeah, just posting like, well, we can talk more about that maybe next time. I'll be the
Yeah.
in it talk guest, maybe having someone interviewing me like how to make a content. I want to help you all with that. Like I want to help you girls, like if you want to start getting into streaming, getting into content creation and everything, I would love to help you guys. Like, don't worry, just shoot me a question in DMs or shoot me a question in Discord. Like, just ask me. Like, okay, I'm running out of idea. What should I do? Because at this point, I have like a lazy content and the high production content, I must say.
Yeah. Well, this
So,
is a big effort. I mean, you took a more than an hour of your time just to talk with me. So, I don't have a lot of video or streaming content, but if anyone's interested in following my adventures, they can follow me on Instagram or Facebook.
please,
I'm they're listed as KB Anderson 78. That's my
KB
username for
Anderson.
all channels. KB
B.
Anderson
Anderson. And
78.
I really love when you say that all channel same username because that's the great start because it's really important to have the same username in every social so people don't have to find you like okay what's your name on TikTok, what's your name on Twitter, why is different. So the first step for everyone who wants to start become a content creator, make sure your username on Twitch, YouTube, everything is the same because that's how people gotta find you. And by the way, Keri, oh my God. I think I told you, oh yeah, it's gonna be a 1 hour. It's gonna be an hour interview, and look at us, 2 hour and 17 minutes. I
You can just
love.
tell me to pack it up and
No,
go.
I love it. I love talking to you. I love learning from you. That's the most important thing. Like, oh my God, I love it. I really enjoyed this in it talk. I'm super super happy. Thank you so much, by the way, Keri. Thank you very much for being our guest, and I'm wishing you tons of success. And I really hope to see you in IMSA paddock really soon. I'm into that. And by the way, so yeah, girls, don't forget to follow us on social media at Init Esports and Screen to Speed. And don't forget to follow Keri as well and on social media to support her racing career and also to encourage her to make more contents. How about that? At KB
Love it.
Anderson 78. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much, Keri. Thank you everyone for watching and I will see you next. Oh no 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 no! Next week we're not gonna have an Init Talks because we are going to DreamHack in Dallas. Woohoo! So you can keep up with us with our activity on our social media. Okie dokie. And I will see you on I will see you in 2 weeks, because guess what? In 2 weeks we will have a giga lineup for INIT Talks. I don't want to talk about anything. I don't want to say who's the guest, but it's gonna be very special. It will be worth it to watch. Like, I'm super excited, super excited. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Bananas, thank you so much. Oh my god. Bananas, thank you so much. Ladies, love you girls so much. I will see you in 2 weeks. Stay safe, stay healthy. I love you guys so much. Bye. Bye. Thank you so much, Keri. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.